Out of here, 2.3% versus 2.4% expected on the month-over-month number there. U.S. core CPI comes in line with expectations, 2.8% versus 2.8% expected, 0.2 to the upside overall on the month-over-month core number there for CPI, 0.1 expected there month over month. Core CPI year over year, April, again, 2.8% versus 2.8% expected there. The inflation rate overall, 2.3 versus 2.5. Remember, the prior one there was 2.4%. So a little bit better than expected overall. I mean, this has been a little bit of a trend going back to the past couple of months here. Really no significant movement, 0.1% here or there, 0.1% to the downside, 0.1% to the upside. Overall, the market, though, probably going to like this.
Yeah, and like we kept hearing about all this delay that was supposed to come in from the tariffs. We're gonna get a higher inflation print next month, and it's the next month. So we still haven't seen it. So we'll have to see if that is even a thing. So good look right now, Brendo. The market really reacting to that number, breaking through that 21,000 point area on the NQ. I was speaking to Neil about that this morning. Some higher lows there with that 21,000 being a key area of resistance. Looks like we're clearing it by a little bit today. Lots to talk about today, Brendo. Coinbase getting added to the S&P 500. Oh boy, up 10 1/3% here in the morning. Nvidia, AMD in focus as yeah, a lot of these chip guys are in Saudi Arabia right now with Donald Trump, and there's supposed to be a trade deal, a chips deal to be more specific, with selling a lot of these AI chips to the Middle East, and Google in focus as well. UNH, Brendo, my goodness, we're down 10%. The CEO stepping down there, and they're pulling guidance after lowering guidance.
Yeah, it can't get out of its own way, unfortunately, for UNH. Just bear with us, guys. We're working on the visuals. Yeah, there's the overall market right now, 0.3% to the upside, getting through that high temporarily anyways. We're coming back in a little bit, getting through that high from yesterday. Big crypto news on this side of the border as well. Robinhood picking up WonderFi.
Yep.
Maybe trying to get a stakehold here in this country.
I was just about to say that to you. Is it going to be possible maybe next month I open up the App Store and there's a Robinhood app downloadable here, and I think a lot of people would jump on that bandwagon when they already have a big cachet, big name in this country already.
Yeah, we'll see how that plays out over the next coming weeks. Again, just bear with us, guys. We're working on the visuals. Lots to consider here this morning. Again, if you're just joining a little bit late, inflation a little bit better than expected, 0.2 on the month over month. Core side of things basically in line with expectations, 2.8%. Overall, the inflation rate, 2.3%, exactly where it was expected to be, guys. Good morning.
Good morning, everybody. And the market does like it. The market was
like this.
I know. Market was flat. Like we were very flat. It was kind of trending upside. We're like, are we going to get continuation off this big move that we had yesterday? So far, so good. Light inflation, as far as I'm concerned, is good. We're kind of, the crowd wanted Hood. I kind of like Coinbase, but I think everyone knew it was going to be a crypto-related name that was going to go into the S&P 500 next. So, yeah, it was always going to be one of the two, I think, for a lot of people. And it turns out that Coin gets the nod here. It doesn't necessarily mean that Robinhood, you have to wait for somebody else to get kicked out or a little bit later down the line. But, yeah, good look for Coin, up 10.5% as we speak. So that's looking fantastic. Nvidia broke out. That's up a point. Looking at it.
Palantir's up to 120 right now.
UNH stinks, though. Oh.
We'll just let it go. There we go. Oh, I thought maybe it would work on that point right there. Yeah, bear with us. As Brendan said, we're working on a little bit of technical difficulties here so far this morning. So, yeah, just, thanks for watching. Yeah, no, one thing you could do if you have yet to have done this, please scan that QR code.
Yes.
Right there on your screen. Get the watch list. As we work through all this, it's a great opportunity to sign up for the watch list. But, it's nice to see that CPI number come a little bit lower. I said over to Joe, it looks like, I have a feeling, the numbers would be a little bit better. So we can see here the ES and the NASDAQ, both green here today, but barely. The ES holding on by a thread. It's more the NASDAQ right now, up 0.3, trying to go higher. And you already nailed it. NVIDIA with a nice move higher here today as well. up over 1.3%. Tesla, I'm just going to keep going. I assume the audio is probably fine. Tesla also up again here today, over 1.1%. We're really starting to fly around here. Google was the one that was getting a little bit kicked down to the downside, but looks like it's back up now. Yeah, 0.24. So the market's really starting to rally here. Yeah, audio is fine. Okay, good. Thanks.
Okay, good.
Thanks, everybody. Yeah, so we'll just keep on, sort of talking about, the market and what's going on, and then we'll get over to a visual when we get that opportunity. But there it is. Hey, okay, why don't we go over to the desk and we'll see if we can get it figured out.
Been running here. There we go. Should be better if everyone is, yeah, okay. All right, market back to basically highs at this point through 510 here at, that's the NASDAQ, back above yesterday's high. Again, if you're just joining, we'll run through these numbers. The market higher on this. There's the core inflation month over month for April, 0.2%, basically in line with expectations. Again, 0.2. The consensus was 0.3 though, so a little bit better than expected. Overall core inflation rate year over year for April, exactly as expected, 2.8%. Inflation rate month over month, 0.2 versus 0.3. So that one beating ever so slightly. But as I was mentioning, I mean, this has been a couple of months in a row here where we've seen this kind of 0.1 up, 0.1 down, kind of chopping around, really not doing much. Gone are the days where we would have, a 0.5% swing all in a matter of a month.
It's not like that anymore, is it? I mean, and yesterday we heard about the Fed rate cut getting kicked down to September from July as a result of the economy being a bit stronger, with a lot of different rating agencies today really lowering the likelihood of a recession this year. I know specifically it was either Goldman or JP Morgan dropping the likelihood of a recession from 45 down to 35%. Obviously, you have to assume that the Fed realizes this and is taking that into their calculus, Brendo, because now I think the July cut is, what are we at, 50-50?
Yeah, I have it right here. We're at 63 still on a hold for, this is July, so just 34.2% in favor of a cut. You got to go all the way up to September before you start seeing things shift down the board here a little bit. 53% there for a quarter point cut going out to September 23 on half a point. So yeah, it's going to be a couple of months here still.
Yeah, and that's the thing, Brendo. I mean, like you're seeing this tug of war back and forth with Donald Trump and Fed Chair Powell, and I think Powell's definitely got sort of the argument in his favor at the moment.
Yeah.
You're getting a lot of cuts with respect to this recession, and you're getting some decent inflation prints.
Yeah, more to come as well. We'll get PPI on Thursday. We'll get Michigan consumer sentiment coming up Friday morning as well. So outside of, we're getting to the end of earnings. I checked yesterday, though. Still a couple of weeks away is NVIDIA, guys, the end of the month. So we have to wait for that. But we're getting to the point where the market may shift back towards a little bit more macro type data for movement.
Yeah, wait for NVIDIA. Nah, NVIDIA can just go without. We don't need NVIDIA. All we need is some tariff relief. All we need is some light inflation prints, and then we're good to go. But NVIDIA is one of the strongest ones. Look at it go right now. It doesn't matter whether we're waiting around for the report. Like I said, the stocks are going to wait for absolutely nobody. We've gotten good signs, at least for these guys in particular. We've gotten good signs from most of the hyperscalers. And the certainty that comes back in with deal talk with China and deals around the board means less likelihood of recession, less likelihood of CEOs and big companies cutting back on spend. That all bodes well, I think, for chips. I think it bodes well for NVIDIA. I'd be a little bit. We were talking with Michael last night about the IWM, trying to catch a little bit of a lag. I think that's the one place. Obviously, a lot of the names that are in the Russell are going to care a lot about whether you get those rate cuts, and it's still we're still trying to punch through resistance on the Russell. Like, that's the thing that really needs to catch up. Like, big tech, fine, chips now in the party, everything looks pretty strong, but that's the one place that you're still a little bit skittish would be in some of the small cap indices. This can get through. We're talking about, could it break that 210 today, and then you get the catch-up trade. But it doesn't help that rates aren't going down for this group, at least.
Yeah, I was just looking at Google up here, trying to get through 160. Yeah, we do know that the scrolling on the bottom is incorrect, so we'll try to get that fixed. It was a problem yesterday. We'll see if we get it fixed here today. Yeah, but Google trying to go. Look, the numbers are pretty good, right? I mean, I was actually looking at the NASDAQ as a whole. And I mean, it's almost back. I mean, we're right up to here, 510. 540 is the all-time high. I feel like I was scoffed at last week when we had a question, is the market going to get back to all-time highs this year? And you're not even that far away right now on the NASDAQ, and then the SPY as well. And I mean, sure, all these, look, I think it's all related to this tariff pause and whether or not this 90 days comes and goes or not, and what kind of deals are met and figured out in that date. But look at the S&P. Like 613 high, we're at 583 right now. I mean, you're a couple percentage points away from getting back to those levels. And I mean, look what the market's even doing today, up another 0.3. Seems like we're just sort of, drifting to the upside. A name I like is Eli Lilly down here. I mean, we talked about this a little bit as well. Big move to the downside. Neil talked about some catch-up trades there with IWM and things like that. Eli Lilly has some work to do before getting back up to this level as well. So, definitely some things to be bought. We talked about XBI. And you also have gold making the move down a little bit on that number. So here's the XBI. Again, nice move yesterday as we figure out what's going on in that space. We talked about RFK and whatnot yesterday, sort of this new bill being signed. And then here's gold. Actually, gold is up today. I saw that we were starting to head down on that print a little bit there, but up okay. Actually down pretty good yesterday afternoon. Right now, gold, some value possibly in this space as well. And then guess what's happening down here? We've got Bitcoin 104 again. So it held 100. It's looking like it wants to get going. I didn't check. I sold out of Ethereum, everything. Well, I still have a little bit in one of the trusts here in Canada, the not Grayscale, whatever our friend works for. Purpose. Yeah. So there's Ethereum. I did it yesterday. I basically at this price. So, trying to get more into here, the big guy, and it looks like, and I didn't. So just sitting right now in USDC, waiting for something to happen. And that's the thing, like, it's one thing to take money out of the market, and I know that you do this sometimes, and you just put it right into like a ETF or the market itself. Or
I get anxiety. I get some kind of anxiety when I sell something and I don't, and then now I'm in the cash. Yeah. I always want someone to put it. It's like when I'm on Google, I'm like, I don't care what price Meta's at. It's going right into Meta. Because I don't want to have it sit in the sideline. I don't want to be less Mag 7. I don't want to be less tech. Yeah. But sometimes you do. Sometimes you just have to sell and wait. Sometimes you got.
I should have deployed some cash. I'm still in like 10 or 13% cash or something, and I did not deploy. Maybe time to deploy cash. Deploy Palantir all-time highs. No. Okay, I'm going to be looking at some Palantir today. So it looks like we got all fixed up. Thanks, Fabian. Thanks, Andre and everything for getting us ready to rock and roll. All right, we have a big guest again today. Yeah. He's on pretty much every week, and when for sure when he can make it, it's Mitch coming through here from Trade the Pool. So we'll get some more trading ideas to sort of pair with what we've been talking about. I have no idea what's on his mind, but he's given us a couple interesting plays over the last little while. I remember last week, I think it was either last week or the week before, we talked about nuclear energy a little bit with Mitch, so we do remember that. But yeah, all right, we're excited, man. The market's bumping again. I opened up the account last night, very happy where we are, much happier than 3 to 4 to 5 weeks ago.
Hell yeah.
Rigetti's moving around. There's lots of names starting to go bump in the night. Amazon is slightly creeping again. So lots of names starting to go. Tesla's starting to go. The market should be okay, man, up 0.2. All right, let's go back to the desk and figure out what's going on with our guest.
Yes. With Apple. Apple's nice.
Mitch joining us from Trade the Pool to touch on a few things. We want to talk a little crypto, obviously. We got to touch on Coinbase, first off, up more than 10% here this morning. Right back to highs going into the S&P 500. Again, if you're joining a little late, that was a move after the close yesterday, 10.4% right now, testing 230. Let me know when he's ready, guys. We'll bring him on. Yeah, bring him on, whatever. There he is. It's sunny in Mitch's world all the time.
The money, baby. The money's calling. Got to reflect the haters out here, you know?
I like it. The
What's
hater
going
reflectors.
On, guys? How we doing? The markets are looking good. It's bright down here in Florida. You know how it is.
Love it. Let's touch on Coinbase, as I was mentioning here.
Yeah.
2.5%.
Definitely.
10.5%. My apologies. Going into the S&P 500 coming up.
Yeah, I mean, definitely this was a little bit of a surprise inclusion. I don't think anyone was specifically pointing out Coinbase, but I think it's one definitely that we need to continue watching because it's a hot stock right now in a nice area. Of course, with the recent crypto run, we can start looking to see that this will go ahead and bring investors back in. Of course, with crypto going over and Bitcoin over the 100K, I think we continue to watch to see these stocks lift. Of course, we're seeing now Ethereum make a big move. And so I think you'll see more and more investors trying to grab some crypto as we continue to see this. I think Coin is one to watch, and Hood, both of them. I think they both continue to run. I'll be watching for it. Key level is 220 and looking for it to break out above that. Of course, now with the S&P addition, it should have a nice little catalyst to keep it moving to the upside.
What do you make of this Robinhood coming across the border and picking up WonderFi here to maybe get into this market?
Yeah, I mean, I think Robinhood has been doing everything right. They've been bringing new features and things like the sports events contracts and all this thing. It's just to make it a more fun platform, an experience, right, to go on there. And it gives you more things to do while you're on there. I know I even did some March Madness on there just to have some fun because I had just access to my money right there, right? And I wasn't using it, so put a little small bet on, right? I think that we're going to start seeing more and more growth in Hood. And I think that this is definitely something that I missed out in the low digits. I think that it was definitely a buyout opportunity. It didn't get the buyout. And now we continue to look for it to run. IBKR, another broker that's doing well right now, continue to watch these. They're doing really well. And I could see them keep pushing.
A lot of strength here in semiconductor land. You had ARM on your list here this morning. Back above this 125 looks great.
Oh, it definitely does look great. I was actually trading ARM yesterday, made a nice little lift. As it starts to come to this 125, we can start to really watch it. And the earnings really weren't that bad. It was more about the guidance forward that was more the concern. But of course, with the adjustments that we're getting in the tariffs, if the bulls really want to take control, this is a great area to go ahead and do so. As you guys can see, the MACD has been crossed for a while now. The momentum's starting to come. I think we continue to watch to see if we can get a break above 125, going to the 130s. Another thing that's supporting this stock is now you're starting to get back above the 200 EMA, which is 125.82. If you can clear that, you have all the EMAs below, and now we can start to really get that breakout to the upside. Even
NVIDIA back to highs, I was just noticing here this morning. So yeah, I mean, we'll keep an eye on these. I wanted to pick your brain on this DocuSign, another one you had on your list here this morning. Big day yesterday, just hit day highs here, 88.58. What are you seeing?
So the big part about this is it's a big long-term trend line break. You can see it from all the way back in December. Look at that trend line. It's clear as day. Another big thing is what has happened. A lot of times you want to ask yourself, when you're getting a breakout, is there anything new to the stock, right? Is there a reason why this stock is starting to make a lift? And that's exactly what we're seeing here. We're seeing a catalyst behind that. So it's all about the AI chatter, right? Now they're starting to have AI agents essentially determine the smart contracts here and do everything for you, right? And I think that that's what you need to be watching here as you start to get more and more AI potential and SaaS potential, right? We're all starting to look at how AI is going to affect software, and we're starting to see it here with Docu. This is one of the first that I think that really could change the whole story of the stock because of AI agents coming in.
When it comes to the actual product itself, I mean, there's so much competition here for DocuSign, as you said. You know, the AI side of things, set that aside. But the actual, you know, the purpose of the product and the use case that they lean on and have leaned on right from the start. I mean, I used Adobe for the very same thing yesterday. I was reading that Google is actually working on its own version of a DocuSign kind of product as well.
Yeah. Yeah, it is true. I mean, I have used Adobe to do some signs, but I can tell you at least from like the last 10 contracts that I signed, they're still all running through DocuSign. So I think until we start to see, you know, more and more of that change, then we can start to kind of look away from it. But I think the AI agents really make sense. Now the company can start to worry more about what? Cost, control cost, and get the profitability higher. That's what you want to be watching in the next couple of earnings reports. This has been kind of getting the EPS in the 90 cents. Let's see if we can start to break $1 as we start to get more and more help from AI here. And then they can cut on what? On labor, of course. Yeah, labor is going to get cut drastically by AI in the next 2 to 3 years.
Absolutely agree. Let's go to Tesla. Speaking of cutting cost on labor, maybe we'll talk a little Optimus here, a little robotics as well. I mean, there's been a ton, Mitch, of headlines on Uber on the autonomous side of things over the past couple of weeks here. Tesla is still targeting June, though, for Austin.
Yeah, Tesla, of course, coming out with a new video this morning and yesterday with the robot dancing, right? And everyone's pointing to more of the feet work and the balance on one foot, showing you more and more of what's to come. And I think that this is really the starting to begin of Tesla separating itself away from being an auto manufacturer. For a long time, a lot of people argued that this was a technology company, right? I've even been on the side that how auto manufacturing is really looking negative. We saw that report this morning, of course, from Honda and others, and it doesn't look good out there for auto manufacturers. But separate that. Forget all the car sales. Tesla will no longer be focused on that. There's a reason why Elon says that the Optimus is going to be the best product he's ever made, like essentially the biggest product ever. And there's a reason why. This is going to completely change the stock. They won't even care about Tesla cars anymore. They're going to focus more about the robotics and FSD. That is the move forward for Tesla to get back to 500 and maybe even higher. Maybe it's that crazy Kathy number of getting up there past towards like 1,000 again. And I wasn't a proponent of thinking that maybe this goes to 200 before 300 because of the auto problems, right? But the quick turnaround tells me, forget the autos, forget the cars. The tariffs will at least take some pressure off the stock, and now it can run based on story and outlook forward of what's coming.
And when you take a step back and look at all the pieces that he has, and he's started to develop with the robots, with Grok and X and AI side of thing, you can see at some point they all kind of fit together nicely.
And there's a reason why so many people hit Elon, but focus on Tesla. They're saying focus on the cars. He doesn't care about the cars. The cars were like 10 years ago, man. He's so far past the cars. He's looking at Mars and Optimus, guys. So I think we're in the backseat here. We're looking at the car instead of looking at what's to come, right? This guy's trying to get to Mars and have robots take over here at Earth. I mean, we're looking at the wrong thing. Focus at what's coming, not what it is right now. And especially in a time where we're in right now, we're in a euphoria market. And I know that some people are thinking, but we're not at all-time highs, Mitch. How are we in a euphoric market? Well, just take a look at the stocks that are making big moves. It's a stock picker's environment. Palantir, HIMS, right? Stocks that are really starting to break out. TEM is another one that I have on my radar. You got to be watching for the euphoria, the names that are just ripping. And those names might have a crazy PE, forward outlook, but that doesn't mean that you can't trade them in a euphoria time right now. The market just wants to get back to all-time highs, and it could have some quick pullbacks, but other than that, the dips continue to be bought. All right, the only thing changing this is inflation, guys, and we saw inflation. It did go up a little bit, but there's nothing really there to be too concerned about. Shelter isn't going to change, guys, and it isn't going to break anytime soon. That's the one thing that's keeping this up about 0.3 and accounts for over half of the monthly rise. And
at the end of the day, there's a 2 handle at the front of it. So, I mean, can we complain considering where we came from at this point?
Yeah, and anyone's happier than anyone is Jerome Powell right now, because he was all really worried about the one word he didn't even want to bring up, which was stagflation. And now with the changes that are happening, with the tariffs pulling off some and kind of the adjustments that we're seeing in the CPI, he can go ahead and bring that word off of his language and not talk about it. We will be watching inflation in the next coming months to see when we start to see a spike from the tariffs. We will see a spike, but how big of that spike will be, and when will that come down the line? Maybe July, maybe somewhere down there. Right now, I'm seeing it as first half of the year, probably the best half of the year, and then we got to look at the economic data that comes in.
All right, let's get down to the nitty-gritty here. What are you going to first? Where's your first trade this morning here at the open?
Okay, well, I'll be watching one that has a lot of talk out there, ASTS right now. And this is one that has a lot of a kind of rumor out there talking about the Golden Dome thesis, right? And all that action out there. They do have a kind of offering that they put out there. A lot of people are watching to see what happens with the stock. Can it break the 30? And this is that type of retail stock that is just trying to get above this. A lot of people will look at the daily level and say that it's kind of basing. I say you look at the monthly on this. Look how it's really kind of basing out on the monthly. And if it can get above that 30 and attempt to come back into these 35s, 40 area, we're looking good for a breakout towards the 40. And this is in an area where space stocks have been doing pretty well. You can look to see if these can continue to make a run. Satellite names continue to be an area. And we're looking for euphoria, right? The retail names. Look for those names to continue to run. HIMS continuing to run, right? Palantir, I think today could get another lift after yesterday pretty much kind of doing a sideways step day. Let's see if it can really start to close this gap back up towards 121.62. Those are the type of names that we've been looking at. And the small cap names, oh my God, there's been some that are completely ripping to the moon, guys. I'm going to be watching to see if some of these names like ASST that's been up like what, like over 1,000%? Yeah, 1,400% here. We'll see if these names can continue to run. This type of action, when you're seeing 1,000% runners like we're seeing, it's a euphoria market. What do? Trend trade and hold the trend as your friend.
Always great insight. Mitch Hoke over at Trade the Pool. Best of luck this morning.
Definitely check out, of course, Trade the Pool, guys. If you guys are looking to get after shorts, longs, or maybe it's like this ASST. The borrows are crazy, but for Trade the Pool, I don't got to worry about that. I can go hit, short it, baby. Let's go.
Thanks, Mitch.
All right.
Thank you very much, Mitch. Thought you keep the shades on. I like the look there.
I like the shades. Like
it was a little Randy Savage look.
Oh, yeah.
May he rest in peace, obviously. But one of the names that you brought up there, I'm looking at this reverse head and shoulders on ARM. You said at the very beginning there, and this is with the chips looking pretty good. This hasn't really broken out this March high here, the 126 area, which is about to do today. So I want to see a test of the 200 period on ARM. Looks like this is the day. Knock on wood, this is the day that we get a close above 125. That can happen. That's when you look for the move to push that 200 period moving average. All the chips are blasting. Just as literally as we were talking to Mitch, NVIDIA, you can't seem to stop it. It tagged almost 125. I want to say 125, but I can't exactly. But that 125 coming into play. I mean, yesterday we're like, well, let's get that 123 break, which never happened. Like all afternoon, NVIDIA was just primed for this $123 breakout, and now you're at 125, and there's a half an hour until the open. So I think some patience is required with this gap up. We saw the gap up yesterday required a lot of patience on the dip buys. Like NVIDIA trended down till 1040 and then broke out. Now, I'm not saying that that's what's going to happen today, but when employing the dip buy, in this market, you've always had, I feel increasingly so, you have to be more and more patient each day for those dip buys.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I think Mitch is definitely on point with trading the trend, right? The trend has been higher for a very long time. We talked about it last week, this bull market that we're in. Every single day, it just seems to be going higher and higher and higher. And I think Coinbase is a good example of a trending name with news, with its underlying Bitcoin and then we also have WonderFi being bought out here in the crypto space today by Robinhood. We have Robinhood getting up there. Robinhood, my sticky note is now out. Robinhood is on there. I like everything today about this market, to be honest with you. So there goes Robinhood. We saw yesterday Shopify also take out 52-week highs. So, like, there's a lot of pockets of strength. I mean, there's strength everywhere in this market right now. Uber's actually coming down, actually. But Tesla right here as well. Another call by Mitch. I mean, we've been talking about the robotics angle for a minute, so glad that that's happening right now for everybody on Uber, on Tesla, because we had talked about this, buying some down here at 230, and I hope that was something that some traders did, because it's all the way up now to 320 and looking higher. I don't think 500 is absurd. I think we get there near the end of the year. Like I said, I think the markets can still get back over all-time highs. You know, I made that call a while ago. It's trying to get back there. Whether or not it does, we could go through. They say sell in May and go away. Well, no one's really selling in May right now. They're buying a hell of a lot of names up here in May, which is why I was looking at Eli Lilly, one of the names that I still think is strong, but not near all-time highs. I mean, a lot of tech names aren't near all-time highs.
Well,
you know, even though
a lot
Amazon,
are though.
The thing is like I look at Amazon, I see it at 160, and then now I see it at 211. And it's like, okay, I know the high is 240, but you know, you still have that $30 to go, but we've just missed $50 of it. So I don't, there's a lot happening in the market, and we want to thank Mitch for coming through. And make sure you do, whenever that QR code is up there, scan it, get part of Trade the Pool. You can go find the link in our description. All right, Adara's been waiting over there. It's 9 o'clock. We got to get on this. It's upgrades and downgrades. Thanks, Adara.
We're going to take you through these really quickly, starting with Coinbase. Manes, Crespi, and Hart upgrading this one. $300 price target. Coinbase to be added to the S&P 500 effective May 19th, same day that Shopify will join the NASDAQ. Then we have Phillips 66 here with the TD Cowen upgrade. Peloton getting an upgrade here from Macquarie. And Zoom Info, day one earnings play down in the day, but getting upgraded by Piper Sandler. And Exxon here with a downgrade from Needham. Canaccord Genuity downgrading Bill. Indy down about 11% here and getting a downgrade from Benchmark. And Needham downgrading Xenon down about 10% on the day. Lots of these downgrades getting hit pretty hard this morning, guys. Back to you.
Yeah, Peloton. I turned to Sean and I go, what price do you think Peloton is at? He said 6. I probably would have guessed 5. It's almost at $7. Peloton could break out. This is like, there's so many of these reverse head and shoulders, stocks getting back to prior, I guess, resistance levels. This is one that still has a chance to break 740. I don't look fundamentally, Peloton to me long term, I'm not sure what their prospects are outside of getting bought by somebody. And we'll definitely talk about Coinbase as we get to the rundown. I think that's a tricky one for me today, because I know I want to be looking long, finally back above the 200 period moving average, but it's flying and just grinding higher. Patience on pullbacks, like I said, because I wanted 222, and that seemed more realistic when we were at 26.
I just want to say there's shout out to Xanda there in the chat. Shout out to Randy. Xanda saying they love the show. So I'm going to say, let's get those likes going a little bit. Near 6,000 watching. We'll have over 12,000 hopefully on the open. Hit that like button. Let's see if we can get it up to 1,000 before the day starts. Breaking news though, Randy, right now about Tesla. Nice move down to Tesla there, saying that their robotaxi test drives may be a little delayed. I'm going to get that story. Yeah, exactly. What a surprise, right? So there goes Tesla, just pulling back about $1 and change. We'll get that story when it hits, but I just heard something in my ear about a delay there of the robotaxi. What, you thought that was something that we could have expected?
I think we might have heard this story before. Anyway, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's a story, but it doesn't really affect anything long-term on this thing. So, but there it goes, man. If you're looking for Tesla at a little bit of a discount, I wrote it down for 318 here on the sticky note, but we're coming back in. We'll get confirmation of this story, but there it goes, Randy. Tesla to the downside. Is robotaxi...
It's on X. I can read the headline on X.
Yeah, sure. What is the headline?
Here's the headline. It's a couple people tweeting on X. Elon Musk's deadline for launching Tesla's first robotaxi service in Austin, Texas is weeks away, but the company hadn't started testing its cars without a human safety driver as of last month, according to an engineer close to the testing and a former employee.
Oh, one of those stories.
Wow. That's why you always want to read the full thing, because you're like,
well, yeah, I mean, it's affecting it a little bit here.
It's coming down.
We've talked about this before, so.
It's not great to see that they haven't done too much autonomous testing on this yet without I would love a robo coffee.
I'll take a robo coffee.
Yeah.
I don't know what's different about it, but I'll have one.
It's energy charged. That's what it is there. Okay, yeah, thanks. But there it is, man. If it might be time to wet the beak on Tesla down here at 318. It's coming in a little bit harder here. I just wanted to say that, like, now with this sort of a new story, I think this is where you reevaluate. We always talk about this when we go through the watch list and things like that. Stories can change, and sometimes, you know, you have to let the dust settle. And right now, Tesla's trying to figure it out, just down $2 here from 320 to 318. So actually 322.50 to 318. So down a little bit further than that. Okay, let's go back over to Brendo here and go over the watch list.
Brendo, 58.67, guys. That's where we closed out yesterday on the ES June contract. We're like a couple of points here from the overnight high. The overnight high, 58.85. We're currently at 58.66. So here's the deal. We're going to use 5,900, that 100-point area, as resistance. If we sell off, we're going to use the overnight low, guys, 58.35 as support.
As always, if you haven't done so, free stuff in the description for you. Top link in the description will get you to that page, and then you just need an email address, and you can have all your homework done for you every morning. We'll send you the watch list for absolutely nothing. Has everything that's moving in the pre-market and why right on it. 230 seems to be a bit of a stopping point here so far for Coinbase. 10.7% right now, right back to highs going into the S&P 500. As Mitch was saying, if you joined us with Mitch a little earlier, bit of a surprise here, I think.
Yeah, I didn't hear anything about this. I'm just talking for myself here, so I didn't have any. I didn't anticipate this would happen. So here's the deal, guys. Coinbase will be added to the S&P 500. It's going to replace Discover Financial Services under ticker DFS. That all takes place, Brendo, on May 19th. Discover is exiting the index due to its pending acquisition by Capital One. Why does all this matter, though? Because inclusion into the S&P 500 equals forced institutional buying. So the funds and ETFs that track the S&P 500 index must add Coinbase to their holding. This also highlights crypto's growing legitimacy within the U.S. financial system. Good look there. Some of the strategic moves. Last week, Coinbase announced a $2.9 billion acquisition of Deribit, which is a top Dubai-based crypto leverage exchange. This is the largest merger and acquisition deal in crypto to date, and it also helps Coinbase expand internationally. And the criteria, Brendo, to get yourself into the S&P 500, you must be profitable in the latest quarter, as well as profitable over 4 trailing quarters. Coin cleared all that with consistent net income and rising revenue.
Yeah, this is going to mean, of course, that a lot of funds and a lot of ETFs are going to be adding Coinbase to their pockets. I was just seeing on a daily chart here. We are back above that last stop on the way down, going back to March of this year. So taking back some key levels here, guys, this morning.
Yeah, and taking it by storm. So we were just sort of talking about how there were 2 names when we brought this up in the chat a couple of days ago. There were 2 names that people were mentioning, and it was a slight favorite to Robinhood, but Coinbase was the other that people were expecting. So, it's one of those, it makes sense to me. There might be a trade come Friday. We'll see that at the close. You never really know. Don't make assumptions out there. It's not everything is like Tesla when they got added to the S&P. But that 220, it was like 222 to 224 resistance. It seems less likely, but But we've talked about this dip buying. I always want to look back at the prior highs, like those key prior highs, and when you're going for a dip buy, it's either that or the pre-market low or VWAP. It's the only places that I will look for longs when you're gapping and trending like this. And after yesterday, my gut feel is, let it break and get down into the 220, 222 would be like the Alamo-ish area. If it's not bouncing by then, I think it's something else there for coin. And even if today is a down day, then I'd just look for, if it's a consolidated day or a pullback day, I'd still be favoring the long above the 200 period moving average going into Friday anyways. But very careful dip buying here today into 222.
I think everybody over 700 likes already, so thank you so much for hitting that. All right, so I actually wrote down Robinhood just because it's not on the board. I'll just talk about it quickly here. I have 57 to 57.50. Again, I don't worry that it was passed over for Coinbase. I don't necessarily think that was a big deal there, but it's a big deal for the names that get announced. For the names that don't, they'll just wait their turn. Up 2% again today, stepping in with WonderFi. We talked about that a little bit with Sharif there, a Canadian cryptocurrency company that we've had on here, wallets and whatnot with Kevin O'Leary and so on and so forth. I guess he's going to get paid on that probably. But there it is, down into $57, $58 for Robinhood. I really like this name. It's had a nice move, man. Really strong, really aggressive, almost back to highs. No reason for this name to slow down, more account openings. Plus, I'm really happy with the way crypto's been moving, right? So, I feel like there's a lot of juice here. I wrote down 57, 50 to 57. And again, a lot of this is before that CPI number, but, if we can come back into yesterday afternoon's highs. So that's what I'm looking for. Right into here would be a great long. I'm actually going to start it. I think I put a bid at 58 on Robinhood. Where I go, no, I went to 57.50. So I'm still sitting here waiting for this to sort of come through. If it does, great. We'll wait to see maybe 57.75, something like that for Robinhood. Look, Coinbase was a pick that I had at the beginning of the year. It's not doing well, you know, to be honest with you. It's had quite a nice move down. I mean, I'm long. I don't remember. What was that date again, Adara? Okay, so... All right, so January 10th-ish. So this is when we made that call. We made some predictions. I made it based on thinking that Bitcoin would be strong. We already had, I think, Joe and maybe Brendo took Bitcoin. So I was like, I'll take Coinbase. But that's really fallen out here. Nice to get above the 200-period moving average now. And that's pretty key on the daily chart. So let's wait to see what winds up happening. We stopped last time we were up here. Now we'll see if we can hold it with obvious positive news here on Coinbase. So, yeah, I mean, I like the stock. I don't know if it's going to be like what levels to look at here for trading this name today, because it's had such a nice move up and there is that gap fill right here that's just happened overnight. So I would say, like, I don't want to say 220, but like 222, 223 is sort of going back to here and into this high again. And I just don't know if it drops down $7. All right, because we want to thank everybody with the super chats as well. And I just saw one appear and then disappear. So hold on a second. Fan funding. There it is right there, $5 from Randy. What's up, Randy? He said we talked about LLY. So I actually have this up yesterday. You're looking to start a position. I actually have a bid to get long almost right now on Eli Lilly. And I'm just looking at this. Let's see how it opens, right? First of all, I don't know if there's enough news right now in the market to do anything with this name. It's down 0.3. We did have a huge move up and down yesterday. I mean, yesterday we were down to $700. Any sort of a dip buy into this area is a buy, but I think you're getting real close right now. Like this 760 to 750 area, we've only spent, you know, in the last year and a bit, a few days underneath where we are right now. I apologize for my voice, man. I was soul coaching last night, yelling at about 8 10-year-olds, 10 to 12-year-olds yesterday, yelling at them. And I had a nice talk to them. I said, why are we spending $400 on bats when we're not even swinging them? Okay, so 750 to 760. And then I went home and bought my daughter a new $400 bat.
Exactly.
Like, such an idiot I am.
She swings.
Hey, it's me. Yeah, she swings for sure. But there it is, man, 750 to 760. So Randy, to answer your question, I think now. The time is now. Like I think you can buy Eli Lilly here. And if you're scared about these prices, then buy half now, half later. Like, I don't know. I mean, I can't predict where this is going, but looking for good levels, I think this is a great level right now, right here, right now. So Eli Lilly, I think, is a buy. And it's not like a hand over fist buy, but I think you can step in there and be aggressive with Eli Lilly. I mean, the drug keeps outperforming. We know there's going to be multiple uses for there. You can see Novo Nordisk. And, yeah, I think Eli Lilly's the winner there. So
they're beating Novo back.
You just have to like the stock. I mean, to pick a price, if you're swing trading, you obviously want the very bottoms.
That's the difference.
Yeah, you know, but I just think if you like the name, you probably want to get in there and buy it now and then see what happens and buy a little bit next week and see where it goes from there. That's kind of what I'm going to be trying to do here as well. So. All right, there it is. Yeah, some people have some comments in the chat as well. What's Coach Hartman saying? Is this about Eli Lilly? Oh, here it is. Coach Hartman, what's up? At Sean, close enough. Last month I bought Tesla, 230 calls. There we go. Enjoy some Heinekens on me. Thank you so much for that. We really appreciate it, man. We'll have some beer maybe later on this week. But there you go, Coach Hartman. You know, great call on that. And I think that was the right way to play. I was saying buy a little small ahead of the earnings, just in case. Options, you know your defined risk. So I think that's a great idea. And congratulations, Coach. Put me in, Coach. Let's put in Brendo.
All right, done. Yeah, 1.5% right now for NVIDIA, right at day highs. This is a 15-minute chart.
Wow.
One lonely red candle in there, straight to the upside this morning. The entire group, though, benefiting from this chatter of a potential, anyways, wider deal here for shipment.
And they're both in Saudi right now. I saw Lisa Su, I saw Jensen with MBS and with Donald Trump in Saudi Arabia today. Looking at striking this deal, guys. So the Trump administration is negotiating, Brendo, direct deals to send hundreds of thousands of U.S.-designed AI chips to 2 different companies, G42, which is
he's actually signing. It looks like he's actually signing
it
right now, or signing something. Anyways, right now. Trump live on CNBC. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no problem. So G42, that's an Emirati firm. That's the UAE, obviously, a firm that had been previously scrutinized for some China ties. There's also Humane. I can't really say this. I should be able to say it. Saudi Arabia's newly launched a national AI company. Obviously, the move reflects a dramatic shift from the Biden administration's stricter controls, opting for a deal-based diplomacy over, just blanket export restrictions. But there is a bit of a tension here between some people in the administration, the national security hawks and the tech bros, so to speak. The tensions are rising. The national security officials worry that the chips could be misused or diverted to China, and the business and the tech-aligned officials want deals done as Trump visits the Gulf. And here's the deal, guys. So G42, they previously partnered with Microsoft under the Biden-era guardrails. They're lobbying, obviously, for direct chip access with no U.S. partner oversights, and they're seeking about 700,000 chips, Brendo, by 2026, and they've already partnered with Altman and crew at OpenAI. The Saudi Arabia firm, they're looking to get tens of thousands of chips, AMD and NVIDIA, and they're part of Trump's broader strategy here to secure influence in the Middle East.
Yeah, stock clearly loving this at this point, guys. Straight to the upside this morning for NVIDIA.
Straight to the upside, no questions asked. But 1, 2, 1, there's 2, there's 3, there's 4, there's 5. 5 straight days dipping at the open, regardless of what the stock. Gapping up, dip at the open. Flat, dip at the open. Gapping up, dip at the open. Flat over here, dip at the open. So yeah, I'm expecting dip at the open until proven otherwise. With NVIDIA, what I love about it, let's go back to the daily chart. What I love about it is you're breaking on the daily. Ignore the 200 period because this isn't split adjusted. It doesn't really matter, but you're going to be breaking. You got that 123, the level we wanted to break in the afternoon. That just didn't happen. And it's a day trade. What are you going to do? Buy the dip, back through. So if 125 holds here, which it very well may not, I like it all the way back into prior highs. I have 122 marked off, but at this point, I'd look more in the range of the prior high to be catching those dips, and then the Alamo being the 122 level. Only looking longs here on NVIDIA. Continuation trend trade, but remember how long we trended down yesterday in the morning. It's going to require some patience here because it's absolutely flying. We want to, at 6 o'clock, this was $122 and was down $1, and now we're up 1.5%. And
at 10 o'clock, this thing might be 130. Like, we can't predict where this thing's going to go, but there is some nice size here at 125. Look, I mean, this is one of those names. I mean, we talk about buying best of breed. I feel like if you're doing that, then you're fine. This is due for an all-time high run, and it's going to happen right now. So 150, you want to buy some calls, Coach Man? You want to run, Coach Hartman? You want to run some of those profits into something? Buy some May, June. Buy some June, third week in June there, whatever that is, on Friday. Buy some 150 NVIDIA calls. It's coming up here, and it's coming up here quickly. So I like that play. I don't know what they're worth, but I think that's a good one there. And as we mature into that level, I think you'll be happy with it. You get enough time decay on that as well. So I really like NVIDIA breaking out. Forget about that 200 period moving average. It's not going to be right on our chart. Let me just see what this is right here, NVDA. I think we either approached it or broke it. Yeah, so we're right there right now. We're right there. That's 125. So we're above, we're getting close to that period right now. That's a 200 period. Once we take that, then it's bombs away. Back there to the upside, 144. Then we reach 150 and sky's the limit. Honestly, there's going to be traders that are potentially I don't want to say underinvested in this name, but I mean, it was definitely a name that was probably shorted, hoping that this Chinese resolve, I guess our 200 period is actually fine, that this Chinese period, tariffs may potentially not be resolved, and NVIDIA definitely a shorted name for those kind of reasons. But get ready to get blown out of those shorts. It's not like it's up huge, only 1.5%, right? But still a nice move higher, and it's nice to have the administration having their back somewhat. So let's wait to see here what's going on. Sharif had some great graphics there. Rewind and go grab them. But UNH, as they say again.
What a mess.
All right. I'm just listening to this press conference. It's still going on. It's not on CNBC anymore, but just be aware. Trump is still live. Guys signing some deals with Saudi Arabia. Let's go to UNH, 10 and a quarter. Back to the downside we go right now, trying to get to day lows. They pulled their guidance. New CEO inbound here once again for UNH.
Eek is what I'm going to start this review off with here, Brendo. So yes, UNH sadly did suspend the 2025 outlook just weeks, guys, after slashing it. CEO Andrew Whitty is stepping down effective immediately. He will be replaced by Stephen Helmsley, who previously led the company for over a decade, from 2006 to 2017. Obviously, the shares are down markedly here in the pre-market. What's driving all this uncertainty? So UNH obviously has struggled with soaring medical costs and Medicare-related reimbursement volatility. In April, the company posted its first earnings miss since 2008, obviously citing several different reasons. And there's also government cuts and mounting public scrutiny on insurance, which have obviously worsened sentiment. The forward guidance as well, Brendo, UNH says it now expects growth to resume in 2026. The company is focusing on cost control, rebuilding investor trust, and reassessing its strategic trajectory under incoming CEO Helmsley.
Yeah, this was the, if you go to a daily chart, this was the earnings day that you were mentioning there, and then it's just been a slow drip ever since. And then we get the huge gap this morning. We're way down here below that 350, guys. Ugly.
Oh, it's incredibly ugly. And we've been getting almost every single day, people are asking about, like, UNH, what do you do with UNH? It's like, look at it fall. Ever since it broke the 450, it continues to decline. There's been no reason to get in. It's been an abject disaster. The only good news here is on the weekly chart, there's slightly smaller candles to the downside, right? Like huge, smaller. So maybe it's decelerating, but that's all I can give you. I think it wouldn't be ridiculous if it retested. Like, you're gonna get some pretty key levels once it's around 300 to 320, and that gets a little more interesting. At some point, it's probably going to bounce, but I'd rather not be catching falling knives in a market that's great or good, at least. How good you like it, fair enough. No matter what you think of the market and the exuberance, and people want to call it a bubble, whatever it is, it's better than UNH right now. So let this thing settle down. As far as today goes, I had like 350-ish, like right in here. It's like 48 to 50 is where I would look for at least an initial curl if there's more downside, although there is a buyer at 340. It'll open up SSR, but that's probably the only thing I'd look at. If it tries to get back into 350, maybe look for a mean reversion at that level. I think you're waiting for things to settle down here and catch some kind of a bottom, rounded bottom, some higher lows on that daily or weekly, and then you can think about buying this dumpster fire.
All right, we did get, just really quickly, I don't want to ignore TMC here. We got a super chat, so thank you for pointing that out again. Shane D, right there, near, I guess, all-time highs with earnings tomorrow. Deep sea rare earth miner. Yeah, I was looking them up a little bit there, TMC. So I just wanted to show that we do have it right here on the Benzinga Pro platform. Well, you're right. With earnings there tomorrow after the market close, 4:30. You could see right here, we do have a short float of 6%, so that's pretty interesting there. Decent float of 215 million shares. And then as you were mentioning there, a deep sea miner right now looking for these rare earth metals. So that's a pretty hot space, as we know here. So again, I like this space, and maybe you're late to something there, but with earnings tomorrow starting to tick up, 50-period moving average starting to go with you, now starting to slant upwards, obviously sloping upwards as well as your 200-period moving average. You know, great bases down here. You know, you'd have liked to maybe have played this gap. So when you see a gap and you get the pullback into that gap, that's probably a good buy around 235. So for me, it's kind of the same thing right here. It looks like we want to hold $3, if not 280 to 290. So yeah, I like the play. I just, you know, heading into earnings, you'd have to go back and see, like, looks like the last earnings were somewhere around here, maybe even right here in February. That could have been a good earnings call, and then it faded out a little bit. So I would just go back to past earnings, see what they're expected to do. TMC, you know, not a huge market cap name, but rare earth name. So I like the look, and I think if you're going to take a shot on something, this could be it. But remember, when you have earnings, there's that gap potential. where you can't get out. So it's easy to say go long now and hold the gains 280 or so, but with earnings just few moments away, right? Tomorrow could be a good name there. So thank you for the $5 super chat. I like it. 8% short float in the right space. I would just say find out what some of the competitors have been doing, and if they've had good quarters, then maybe these guys do as well. And maybe there's an analyst out there that knows something more about TMC. So great call out. We'll see tomorrow if it gets a move, or $3, man. It could be one of those low float runners tomorrow. And we'll see where it goes. 8% short float. TMC.
Three flakes that.
All right. We sat here yesterday talking about all kinds of strength coming out of China yesterday morning. Not the case this morning. We're giving it back. This was Xpeng yesterday. Remember, in the pre-market, up huge. We didn't really do much throughout the day. And then here we are giving half of that, at least 50% back. I mean, most of these downside this morning. Alibaba looking about the same. JD as well. There's this JD actually just going positive here. Volatile this morning. There's this story on Boeing to be aware of as well, bouncing above 200 right now, up a full percent. With this 90-day tariff pause, U.S. and China, they are allowing deliveries to happen again in that country.
That's going to be a great look there, especially for Boeing, who needs a good story here, Brendo. Let's talk quickly here about some of these analyst rating agencies that are really changing their tune a little bit on China after yesterday's or Sunday's announcement of the trade deal. UPS raising its 2025 China GDP forecast from 3.7 to about 4%. Previously, it was at 3.4, so a move there. Morgan Stanley as well expects China's Q2 and Q3 GDP growth to exceed earlier expectations. ANZ Bank as well as Natixis as well looking at the same. And Nomura upgrading Chinese equities to tactical overweight, even rotating funds, Brendo, out of India to capitalize on the momentum. Citi as well raising its target for the Hang Seng to 25,000 by year end, expecting 26,000 by next year. So yeah, a lot of different rating agencies giving this one the nod. To build on your Boeing story, Brendo, here. So Bloomberg is reporting that China has lifted its ban on Boeing jet deliveries. While Boeing hasn't confirmed that, the move could restart halted shipments. The ban had forced some planes to be returned back to Seattle in recent weeks. And listen to this, Brendo. Boeing commercial backlog, the amount of airplanes that they actually have orders that they haven't delivered, 5,600 jets. About 160 of those are supposed to go to China, and China made up about 25% of Boeing's delivery for the pre-737 MAX grounding back in 2018. So they were definitely a big customer. Let's see if they
Are those all just like sitting in a field somewhere at this point?
Brendo, I got
they even made, who knows? JD with earnings, reporting very, very late, as we're saying. These usually report very, very early hour time, but JD with earnings higher, guys.
It might be interesting if it can close above the 200 period moving average, but Boeing is on a breakout. It's been an absolute tear since the bottom, and it's finally through that 196, actually 196, 197. Prior support going all the way back to February of last year, turning into resistance, ending in August of 2024. So as far as I'm concerned, that 97 had interest in it yesterday after a dump. I mean, everything dumped at the open, but there was a nice consolidation. That 97 is a big level on the daily. I think that's where you look dip by. But this morning, NVIDIA is going to be a bit of a NVIDIA's priority. Coinbase on some dips is going to be priority. And then we didn't really talk about the bounce in Bitcoin. I love what happened off 100K on Bitcoin. I really like the way we saw this bounce. It's in a nice upward trend here on the daily, but that bounce didn't even get to 100K. The second it was under 101, boom, and then it did the higher low as well. So I look at this W pattern, see 103. That's the first spot I want to look for dip buys on BTC. That works out to like 58.5 bucks. If it loses that, then I wait for 100K. So that's another one of the dip buys on the note. Good reaction of Bitcoin. It was so weak all day long yesterday, and that bounce at 100K looked really nice.
All right, just getting ready to go here, lining some stuff up. UNH just continues to fall. There is an imbalance there. It's not a big one. Well, okay, first of all, NVIDIA, I just saw, this just popped up right here at 928 as we get a refresh. So there's NVIDIA now, just took out 125 on that imbalance. It was falling off of it. So I was going to be like, wow, let's look at 125 break there of NVIDIA early, but that's not happening. There's the UNH continued sell off. ACHR is another name that we've been looking at for a little bit as well. Some of the I can't remember exactly who, but we were talking about this with one of the guests as well. So not much on there. Merck, we saw yesterday getting hit a little bit. We're looking for Eli Lilly as we got a good question from that. I want to thank Kendo NYC here as well. Thank you so much for this great show again today, guys, day in, day out. Appreciate the content from the insights to laughs and obviously the years of experience. So thank you, Kendo. I've liked that comment and I really appreciate all the funding. We are doing Studio 8 renovations today. So, well, throughout the next couple months. So, all right, yeah, big things happening around here. So, all right, there we go. All right, just what I'm looking for. Actually, I'm not really looking for NVIDIA right now. I want to let it settle down a little bit. I'm looking for Palantir. Wow, it's already up here. Okay. I have a Palantir bid at 118. That just, like, look what Palantir just did. It just ripped up $1 in 2 minutes there. So Palantir getting excited, NASDAQ doing nothing, and Palantir's like, okay. So that's a nice move. The TQs as well. We only have less than now 10 seconds, and then Robinhood we're bidding. So let's watch to see if Palantir dips. As Neil had mentioned, we've seen that with NVIDIA a couple times. So we'll see if it does happen again right now. Palantir ripping. All right, Adara, 3, 2, and 1. All right, welcome to the jungle. We've got fun and games. All right, there's a nice dip right away, almost immediately on Palantir. I'm not going to get too excited because it just went to 119.50 and now right back up again. Let's try something at 119 change, just because that's where VWAP is and what we had said there. You think Coinbase is ripping?
Coinbase already. Well, Coinbase just tagged 234. So I mean, you know, again, surprise, surprise. I don't know if we'll get a dip as far as we like. Maybe we can get a shot at VWAP in there. Nvidia's at least pulling back.
Market trying to pull back.
Very tiny amount so far. But remember, this ran the top at the open yesterday and then pulled back in very heavily. So just got to be very patient with it. Bitcoin doesn't usually do anything too crazy off the open. It's sideways for now. So yeah, looks like we're being very patient. Oh, we didn't get to Rigetti. Rigetti reported last night down over 10%. Shnikes. 1050 was a big level. Looks like it really just turned off the 1050 level. It's in play for an SSR bounce, but I'll wait till it's a test at least $10. For now, we'll be patient with Rigetti. They were the only earnings that was a big mover.
Oh boy. Wow. Sirens up. Palantir, like as if Alex Karp was just anointed president of the United States or something. This is just like, wow, 121.50? Like Palantir right now, NASDAQ going down. Palantir cannot stop going long right now. This is an absolute monster. I don't know what else to say. Whatever. I put a bid once I saw it break 120. I put a bid at 120.40 and missed it. This stock, see ya. That was a nice story right there as that's gone. And there goes NVIDIA as well. Like everything right now.
At 37.
Coinbase. Let's check out what's Robinhood at 150 right now. Okay, so $60. Just joking about the 150. I was just adding a 1 on this. Nice move up there for Robinhood as well. Everything right now getting lifted. Google not. Google downside. Okay, so that's fine. I was trying to look for some weakness, and that's why I actually called up Google a little bit there as well. Apple going now 211 and change. Wow, man, what an aggressive market so far here today. Look at the NASDAQ, man. We wanted to get long in the TQs. That didn't dip enough. I was bidding 66.05. We got as low as 66.40, which was VWAP. Yeah, it's going to be tough not to chase these plays.
You can't chase coin right now. 238, absolutely flying. I'm just going to quickly double check on Boeing here. Yeah, Boeing is going. There's no 97
Boeing
dip. Nothing is dip buying, despite the fact that the market is not through the high. So let's go to Adair, get an update. What is weak? Because we're not breaking out.
There's something that's strong here. Tempest AI, TEM, this is massively making this push to the upside. No news, but an organization or a group called Trader, TRADR, did launch the first Tempest levered ETF. So TEMT is going to be a 2 times long Tempest ETF. Clearly lightly traded, it's the first day, but Tempest here with its own levered ETF, incredibly strong today. 26.5% short float for TEM. Back to you.
Wow, what the hell's going on with SMR? SMR right now is a freaking rocket.
Oh my.
Now over $20.
What? Let's go.
Like SMR just went 18.
For real?
Yeah, well, I mean,
I'll let you, boy.
SMRs, yeah, this is almost a double up in my account right now. But yeah, this name is really starting to go right now as SMR. I'm not getting out of this. I didn't get out of it at 30. I'm not going to get out of it at 20. But there it goes, man. Nice move to the high side right there off earnings. New scale just continues to rip, man. Just hold back on all the FOMO. Like, Palantir is nonstop right now, 3.3%. NVIDIA is nonstop. We haven't even look at NVIDIA.
15% on a pullback.
NVIDIA's up too. Tesla's 320 and trying to go. What's up, Adara?
Yeah, we did have SMR there in earnings, as mentioned. They missed on EPS, beat on sales. A whole bunch of other smaller names that reported. We had LUNR, Intuitive Machines on earnings watch, ASTS, AST Space Mobile reported earnings. A lot of these names with larger short floats like RGTI, like ASTS, like LUNR, all reported last night. Another one was Hertz, HTZ. So if you like these small cap names, there are plenty for you to keep an eye on today. Back to you.
Finally, just I'll take a 20-cent win quickly here on Amazon. I bought the 212 break on Amazon, and it just ripped up 30 cents. So we're actually long at 212.03. I almost said 220.03 there. So, all right, let's see if Amazon does. We'll buy some more 212s if it does come back. But there it goes, man. Amazon, we got a little bit aggressive with it. I was just like, you know what? There it is, man. 40 cents in the money. So let's hit the sirens up. First trade in the books right now, and going a little bit higher. We just got out of 20% of it. Wow. Okay, now we're going to get out of a little bit more. I mean, 75s. Like, I just put this on. There is some euphoria right now in this market, man, especially on the tech side of things. We are really starting to rip up. We said that NASDAQ wasn't too far away from all-time highs. I'm actually going to find out how many points away from all-time highs we are, because this is getting real excited right now. There goes Amazon. It's a 212 break, and it's beautiful, and starting to go even higher right now is Amazon. So, yeah, UNH getting absolutely clubbed as well.
There's no bottom in sight right now.
330 right now as we get a new CEO, but that CEO's been around for 20 years or so. Yeah,
it didn't work for Intel when they brought an old head back around. Sorry, that's insensitive. When they brought an old face back in to right the ship, and UNH has a lot of other issues, but it is on track for an SSR bounce at some point. 320 was the first place I was going to look, but I think a little bit more interesting right now is Rigetti's trying to break out. So see that? Remember that 1050 on Rigetti? Well, it's got a nice little wall in here. I will take a shot shorting this, but I don't think I even paid for locates. So there might be you know what? Let me double check. Maybe it's free. No, we don't have free locates. But if it breaks out this high, it's about $10.53. I want to look for the break. I wasn't really thinking initially short, so I do have to go pay for locates on this bad boy. Coinbase is now through 240. That's absolutely gonzo. The only other thing which is standing out here is Apple has a clean resistance at some of yesterday's highs. So that one has a decent chance to go. If we can hold on to VWAP or break out the top, I want to take a lagger on Apple or Rigetti. Rigetti is setting up pretty nicely for potential, but it's also a short under here, so I got to pay for locates.
All right, what else is really starting to go? I mean, we're over $1 now in the money on Amazon. So we do have Citron now talking about First Solar. So let's have a quick look to see what's going on over there with First Solar. Wow. 21%. We indicated this yesterday as a ripper as well. Look, people are saying Meta. I don't even want to look at Meta. Like, some of these names I can't even imagine. Well, and I will, of course. But some of these names I can't even imagine what's happening. There goes Meta as well. Nicely traded there to the upside as we continue to go on META. So again, the only position that I have on board, and we've talked about it and I'm fine with it, is going to be this name right here, Amazon. So there goes Amazon. We'll have to wait to see what it means here, but it's a nice move up to 213. I did want to check back on, I have bids lower, right? I mean, it's just a matter of trying to get them. And if we can do that, then yay on us, but I don't know.
I don't know if any of these bids are coming in.
Yeah, like there goes Palantir. Yep. I bid 120.50 on the break and missed it. So it's up to 123 and all-time highs. Definitely now in the looks for Palantir. I mean, 124. What about that kind of a break? I mean, we are really off to the races here on no news. Like, we don't really see any news here on Palantir, but there it goes. Huge move now to the upside. Amazon pulling back a little bit, so we'll have to get, we don't have to do anything, but we're going to get out a little bit here on Amazon as we have half left only of our Amazon trade. So I'm pretty happy with that so far. But yeah, so far so good here today. Just 1 for 1, and we'll try to be patient waiting for pullbacks now, but the market is healthily off to the races.
Yeah, well, it's more than healthily off to the races at this point, but you know what's not going with it? Apple is continuing to fall
Tesla's
as
pretty
it's
weak.
about to break. I guess it's going to break the lows in here, which is crazy. Coinbase just doesn't want to give you any kind of a real dip. Like, it just failed 240, so I think there's going to be a first shot at a dip in Coinbase, but after missing that kind of a move, you really have to let this settle down at this point. All right, Uber is about to break out the high. I guess that's going to happen as well. My dip level was 86.5 on Uber. It's at $88, and all-time highs are pretty much here. It closed at 88.10 yesterday in Uber. I guess I'll VWAP by that. If you can't get the dip into the key level at 86.5, then the dip into VWAP's the only thing that makes sense. Everything is absolutely flying here. Unless you're UNH or Apple, looks like you're incredibly strong.
So I was going to say, look what we wrote down here today, right? When the NASDAQ was relatively flat. Palantir long, Hood long, right? TQ's long. So I was just going to go back over and say, you know what, maybe some of these longs just aren't really blasting. Well, Palantir right there, when we had wrote this down, we were just talking about, wow, it went up $1 there with like a minute to go, still going. Well, so let's just go over and say, you know, let's just buy Robinhood, right? It's not ripping, is it? Yeah, right.
Jesus.
Robinhood doesn't even have a red candle right now. $61 right here for Robinhood. There goes NVIDIA taking out 126. Look, man, I'm $1.40 in the money right now on Amazon. I mean, we have to be really happy with what we've been doing right there and still have just under half left now on that play. But it's NVIDIA that's still going higher. There, look at this Amazon chart. I mean, we just bought that late and got that going to the upside right now. So that's still $1. I don't even we're happy with what we've been seeing, that's for sure, as this market, and I know my guy Joe over there is very happy with what he's been seeing as well. I'm waiting at 213.50 right now for this play. Bitcoin not doing anything. Maybe that's the sleeping giant that we wait for. There could be a little bit of a pullback. I'm going to get out of one more piece there. There we go. We get out some 07s. Oh, no, we did not get some 07s. There it is. Now we will. Now we will. No, we will not. Anyways, we're waiting to get some more out there on Amazon near the high side. There we go. We got it there. Just because of this move that we've been seeing, you might as well take a little bit out. I do want to get long into the NASDAQ right here, but maybe a pullback into 2100, 21,000 could be something right now. You're looking for 70 handles higher right there, but lower. NASDAQ and Amazon really starting to blast up. And then I was looking for maybe some weakness. Dude, Robinhood is going. Look at Apple though. Robinhood is going nuts. $61 Robinhood.
Yeah, and look, Coinbase as well. Like, I mean, look, 15% on Coinbase on this little bit of a dip. It looks like it's about to give a test of VWAP for the first time. But Apple there's no way Apple's going to not hold. Look, if we're going to hold this market to the upside, we dip bought Apple. It was a good one yesterday. Pre-market lows are coming in. This is a mean reversion, I guess, dream if the market can hold the highs, but it has to put in some kind of a positive candle, at least something. Rigetti's still on the mind here. I don't want to miss out. It looks like at any second it's going to make a run and break out that local high, which isn't exactly 1050. It's actually 1053 is the high here on Rigetti. I guess Uber pulled back into that 88 level, so we're dip on into Uber, but we are taking this breakout in Rigetti if it goes through that $10.50 level. Report last week, yesterday, but remember, SSR, because it did open down 10%, like those SSR bounce plays.
Yeah, we just got 213.50s right there on Amazon. I mean, good play there. If there's any other names, man, you guys want us to look at, we looked at Robinhood. For me, the NASDAQ.
Top.
Like, I always feel, I mean, I love being here. I love having these plays on. It's been great. That's a great trade. But, you know, you miss some trades, and then you're going to have to just live with that. The NASDAQ is really starting to go. We were talking about buying things at VWAP this morning, and this is just such a huge move in many of these names. But as we had noted already, there has to be some weakness because the NASDAQ right now is only up 0.5 and the ES is up 0.2. It's Apple's leading the way to the downside possibly. We looked quickly at Google. That's down. Wow, Google getting clubbed, man. I mean, I feel real good about getting out of my Google trade the other day, but there it goes, man. Google to the downside right now, so that's starting.
Meta's getting punked then.
That's starting to get down and a little bit lower, so that could be another short here that we wait for if we do get a pop up. I mean, now we've identified some weakness Amazon is just the run, man. That's a great name. So do you want to buy some Apple? What do you want to buy? We talked about Uber was getting hit a little bit in the pre-market, but that, I think Neil mentioned this as well, that has come right back right now. So nice move higher there. When I thought we were going to run into this, maybe this 86, 86.50 area, Uber's still down on the day, but still a good name, right? As we look to see what it wants to do. But right now, Uber up to $88. I'm going to just continue to watch Amazon. I do now only have less than a third left of Amazon. So being a little bit careful with what we wind up doing here on AMZN, not letting this get too much away from us. I'm gonna take one more offer right now. There it is. So now we have about 20% left of Amazon. Great trade to start the day here on that one. We've got Uber, we've got Rigetti over on this side. We haven't looked at Tesla too much yet, so let me just have a quick look at that because we were saying, like, where is this market going? We did have Mitch on. He was talking about some Tesla, and he liked it, obviously, but, you know, the prices are what they are right now, so it's a nice move down, maybe into 318. This is what I wrote down.
Remember, there was news.
Tesla. Yeah, there was news, right, exactly, and that's changed the story there. So I did write down 318 for Tesla on the sticky note. It's right here, so that's what got me a little bit interested right there, Tesla, 318 long. But yeah, the story changed a little bit there with the full self-drive not being that full self yet, as they did have some testers.
Well, it was... The story was that they said they hadn't started the testing as of last month, but that was a former employee and an engineer and just a couple of people reporting it on Twitter. So that did not come from Tesla officially, but I don't know, it changes my opinion. I'm not going to trade it unless we see, if I see that crazy action off the bottom where it gets meme crazy, fine, but I kind of want to stay away from that long temporarily. So Rigetti did break out that high. It got 1050 to 1060. As you can see, it's starting its pullback in, was able to get a couple of legs out there. I want to be able to play it if it can hold VWAP. To me, it's a higher low add off the volume weighted average price for potential squeeze. But if we lose the VWAP, then we're going to jump out of it. Uber is looking better because Uber is not pulling back. I want to say obviously, but it's not obvious because some things aren't as, like, this market's strong, but not everything is incredibly strong. So Uber, I want to try to continue to add to this. You're now through another 52-week, another all-time high. Needs to break out and hold above 88.50. Dips right now are going into this 88 level from the afternoon, and we'll see if we can get to the $89 level. Apple's still incredibly weak. NVIDIA, you know, sometimes your best laid plans are useless. I just don't really see myself chasing this move, and I don't see myself reverting this short. So NVIDIA is just going to have to wait. It's churning to the upside, like a lot of other things. I mean, it's absolutely flying to the upside right now. 3%. Coinbase is actually leveling off with some lower highs and higher lows, but not very solid anywhere. Oh, and UNH, that was the other thing. Yeah. UNH.
That's having a problem.
No, it's pretty bad. It's down 13% here. I said it about 320. I would at least start looking for a reversion long, but it's still falling to the downside. New fresh low on UNH. Hopefully nobody's caught in that.
All right, we'll try. We're long, new position right now, Tesla. I wrote down 318. I'm going to go. So we're going. So there it is. We take something out at 60s here. Now we'll wait to see. I'm actually going to put it up on another screen. I was going to get something out here at 319. Let's do that. 318.80. There it is right there, man. As quick as you like. 70 cents right there on Tesla. Again, on the sticky note. There it is, man. It's $1, fresh dollar there on the note given to you, 318. We wanted to be patient with it. We did exactly that. There it goes, man. Take $1, put that in your pocket, smoke that thing. Nice upside move there. As there it is, man. Daily goal met right there just on these two trades. $1.50 in the money on Amazon, $1.50 in the money on Tesla. So some nice trades. We just took some more out there at 319.50. As again, man, we just don't write these lines on here for any reasons. That's double the outs right there at VWAP. When you get the low of the day and you get that and it rips right back up to VWAP, you're going to take a little bit of that as well. And here he comes Wow, Neil, there's 320 right now. It is a hot dog kind of a day right now as Rigetti's in the building, Uber's in the building, Tesla's now in the building, $1.50 on Amazon as well as that's still climbing. Look at that, Phil, we got on Amazon, man. 213.90s right there on AMZN, man. Yeah, I don't know. I'm obviously pretty happy with the way trading's been going here today. So let's just keep this momentum on blast right now. Good trading here for so far anyways. Who knows where we're going to go. Take a little bit more out of Tesla at these levels because why not? And there it goes right there. Good. So far, so good there. As we go deuces here today. One with Amazon, one with Tesla. Amazon's really the monster. We got another piece out right there. We have about 8, 9, 10% left. Let's call it 10%, maybe a little bit less than 10% left there. Tesla having a day. We just got 319.50 there. So again, I don't know about that story. We did talk about it.
It's speculation.
Everything is what it is. I'm just going to keep using that level. Look, you don't get down to 318 for any reasons, right? I mean, there has to be a problem with it, especially when the market's doing this. So let's take advantage of that. My stop is breaking 317. So that's why we were very aggressive on taking this out for $1. We have half left right now, trying to just massage this trade. It's actually coming back here. I'm going to take another piece.
A quick over/under happened on Uber at 89, which remember it did wick this in the pre-market, the $89 level. So this technically, obviously, 52-week highs and all that kind of stuff is on a closing basis, but it did reject that level. So when it came over/under, I jumped out of it. I'm going to continue to buy the dip in Uber as long as it's above 88. I mean, 86.5 is the level I like, but as long as it's above 88, we'll be dip buying there. If it loses that, I wait for the 86.5 level. Rigetti, which unlike Uber, is in a bit of a pullback. What I love about this is the gap fill above 1060. However, it's rejecting the 1060 level pretty decently. It's held VWAP, so once we close above VWAP, I'm going to look for the add back into this, but it's a big gap fill if it can take out that 1060 level. Coinbase, we're still... I mean, Coinbase and NVIDIA, I feel the same about both of these. We're just being patient. I want to be long NVIDIA, but we thought we'd get a dip buy. This could be the dip incoming. NASDAQ about half a point, getting a slight pullback. It's all green up until now. So if you've been waiting for the dip buy, this could be it here on NVIDIA. That's about it. I mean, unless UNH does something absolutely insane. Right now, it's still trending down. Like there isn't a bottom in sight. It's about $5 away from where I'd start to look for a bit of a curl play on UNH. Just an SSR type bounce, down 14%. But it's got a little bit more to go before I'm eagerly looking at this one for long. Oh, and Apple. Apple doesn't want the 207 from yesterday. Just did this bottoming tail candle. So now it's looking like a potential trend break here on Apple finally at about 209.5.
Oh my, dude.
I don't think we're going to get that 207.
Let's go. I mean, we're $5 in the money. Like, I appreciate Neil's talk there on Uber. Great trading there, $80. And so right there, this is now $250 in the money Amazon, $250 in the money, $250 in the money on Tesla, as there goes Tesla through 320. So we're feeling pretty good about ourselves right there today as we just start to put some numbers on the board here one more time for you guys. There it goes, man. I said this yesterday about, like, I'm just really... obviously happy to be putting on winning trades, but also that the trades and the ideas that we're giving have some merit and are working out, right? And so, we'll go 2 for 2 absolute monsters today, right? These aren't just trades where it's like, we're getting into them. We averaged into this play. We didn't get as many shares on Amazon as, like, this wasn't like a big unit position because the breakouts really haven't been that great. But once we took 212 there, we just went giddy up on that one. Randy, $3 right now, $250 on Tesla as we do buy that dip there. We wrote down, is that what you're saying? My bad. But no, right there, good. Yeah, we can try some brisket. But there it goes, man. Nice move up there for Tesla, 320, 321. Yeah, really started to go. We wrote down 318 before that story, so, it brought us into the level, so we'll take that. And Randy, I'm actually going to take a little bit more out here at 40s. So did we get it? I think we did. We did get it. Get it. Get it, girl, right there. As right now, we watch Toddlers and Tiaras at my house. So shout out to Honey Boo Boo. And right there. So that's someone who's had a couple pieces of pie, I think there, Joe. Honey Boo Boo, as we watch out for that. I love that show. That is fantastic. And she's actually, I haven't seen that episode in 5 or 6 years, but it's one of the next ones, or maybe 10 years. Yeah. Leaf game's not tonight, though. They're Wednesday.
No, they're
aren't they?
tomorrow. Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right, here we go, man. 321 and change for Tesla, starting to go upside, and so is Amazon, man. I mean, this trade, we tweeted this out. This has been a good one, and then Tesla's on our mind as well. It looks like you're back into Rigetti, and then Apple, and you want to look at Rivian. Randy, why not do that right now? For $115, $15. That'd be nice. It was $115, but $15. It's still up 1%, man, almost. We'll see. Yeah, what happened? I mean, the whole market fell down a little bit here on the EV space, I guess, because we did have that Tesla move down, remember? But yeah, there goes Rivian. Maybe pick some up on some weakness, my guy. But right there, man, Tesla, nice move to the high side right now. Let's get something else out in the 60s. It's working today. There it is, man. Daily goal met. Let's go.
Yeah, let's go. Apple finally starting to join the party as well. So it seems like the worst name on the Mag 7.
Get it.
I think the worst name on the Mag 7 is doing a little bit of a curl. So we got the trend break, but first resistance here at 210 into the quarter. Then we look at the volume weighted average price. Uber's not really pulling back. Rigetti lost VWAP, then immediately regained. So if I get wicked out and we regain VWAP, I'm jumping back in, throw the stop underneath the prior bar, and we'll go right back to looking for this long for a squeeze. I just think if it gets above 1060, well, this is a 15-minute chart. If it gets above 1060, 11 to me is going to be in sights. Uber was pulling back a minute ago. Now it's holding. Okay, well, there's still a chance. There's a topping tail candle on Uber, so I'm thinking dip back into VWAP at 88 where we were along the first time, and then we go from there as it's looking incredibly strong here. It's only 1%, but remember, Uber was down when the market was up, so like that 1% a little bit deceiving. Coinbase just made another high, 241, and continued to go. Like NVIDIA is the one that
all in check.
Look at the trend on NVIDIA. This is, I actually don't remember NVIDIA ever doing this, where it's like that linear move up, like the algos are just in control of it. There hasn't been a red candle on the 3-minute chart yet on NVIDIA. And I look over, I'm like, okay, is everything strong? No. AMD can't even break the volume weighted average price. If the futures curl, I'm shorting AMD. If I see something like that, it's like all systems go on NVIDIA and I'm waiting for a pullback. AMD is like fail break, fail the afternoon resistance, and can't seem to go when the market is going. So yeah, any curl in the market, and I'm shorting that name. But for now, we'll just try to ride Apple, wait for Uber to give us a second salvo as well. And shout out to everyone in the chat. I see Scott H. I see
Scott
Matthew
H.
talking about ICCT. Yeah, there's small cappers running too, but at this moment, there's enough to watch after missing. And that NVIDIA, I can't get over NVIDIA. I can't remember the last time I saw it that linear to the upside. It's like an algo buy program sitting there on NVIDIA.
Yeah, I mean,
the second it breaks,
yeah, like NVIDIA up $2, Amazon up $2.50. We have this Amazon trade on board. Same thing happening on Amazon. That's on NVIDIA, man. We are just absolutely Rip City. Obviously, NVIDIA less of a price, so it's starting to go higher and higher and higher. And probably the same thing on my guy right here. Palantir had a problem again at that 124 level. So those of you interested in this play, I don't blame you. Right here, I do like it. I do like this play, obviously, right now on Palantir, but it's going to have to be a short, I think, until it does wind up breaking that. I don't think you can get away from shorting 124. I mean, it's looking real good at the high side. That's a 125. But if you short 124, I think you got to almost get out immediately. It will go and run to look to test that high. And I've already talked about playing momentum one way. And like, look what we just did on Tesla. There goes Tesla. Look, it's great. This is what we talk about. Trade whatever you want, because like right there, NVIDIA's up 250 from the open. We're 350 in the money right now as the chef is cooking one more time right there on Tesla. So there it goes, man. Nice upside move. I take just as many shares on Tesla, obviously, as I would on NVIDIA, but I'm going to start to get a little bit lighter right now as we're having a huge move up. There it is, man. Let's just take out some more on Tesla, and we just did that. 321 in change again. And again, follow us all, man. We all have our, well, I have Instagram, and we have an Instagram for the main account, but Neil has a Twitter account. We have that up right there. There it is right there. Tesla long, Robinhood, Palantir long. We don't have Amazon written on there, but I was just looking for something to break long. So make sure you do join us every single day. Okay, it looks like we had a decent move out there for Tesla. It's just a little bit of a drop down. Let's get some more out right now of TSLA. And right now, man, you know, we have about 20% left of this trade and less than 5% right now on Amazon as that really started going upside there as well. So yeah, man, I mean, so far so good there. Amazon doing a little bit of a dance pullback as the NASDAQ finally starting to catch up with everything else right now over here. So looks like Apple's going to be a good one. You still got that Rigetti, Amazon, and Tesla. So lots of different names here that we've looked at today. ICCT. iCore Connect, yeah.
iCore Connect has been the big runner for sure, but there's lots of others. Like I see Mopar Light talking about HIMS, which is also making a power move. That one's a great one, and of course we had Mitch talking about that as well. UNH just made its first held low at 325 change. It's about to retest it. So basically the setup I'm looking for here is a failed break of the low. Break the low, wick it, don't actually break too far underneath, and then look for the mean reversion bounce into the volume weighted average price here on UNH. I'm offering in front of VWAP on Apple because that last move up that we just saw in the futures, we did a topping tail candle into the pre-market lows, and we couldn't bust through. So Apple's still showing some relative weakness. I don't want to short it, but I do want to make sure we're covering and taking that profit. So here comes UNH. Low of the day is about 325.5. All I want to see is a quick little either wick underneath or hold at that level, and then we're going to jump into the long for the first time with the stop at low of the day, not holding it past a new fresh low on UNH. Market blasting, this one's been in the doldrums, but it's as far as an SSR bounce goes, there's nothing else out there that sets up the same way.
What's up, Ozan? What's up to everybody out there right now as we approach 10 o'clock, man? There goes ICCT again. China to adjust U.S. goods, tariffs on U.S. goods May 14th. So that date's coming up tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow.
So that should be good there as we'll see. We'll see if that affects a name like an Apple or whatever, but Apple's not really doing too much here. Neil's on that one right now. We do have some numbers, so let's go over. Oh, no numbers, okay.
There's no data.
Let's just go over. Wow, Tesla now $3 and change, getting back to the highs for Tesla. Amazon, $2. Man, this is just another day that ends in Y, it seems like, as the market continues to go upside. All right, we'll go over to, I'm going to get another piece out here at 321 if we can on Tesla. It's still a little bit jumpy here. There it is. Well, we just got it, so that was easy. All right, Adara at the desk. It's 10 o'clock. Bye-bye, Tesla. $4 now.
No numbers, but we do have Donald Trump set to appear here, speak live at this Saudi investing event. I'm seeing some comments coming from it. Apparently, he announced a $600 billion Saudi investment commitment, but the feed I'm watching, it just has the U.S. flag and the Saudi flag. So I'm going to keep an eye on that. S&P 500 green right now, up about 0.4%. NASDAQ up 0.84%. As Sean mentioned here, these tech names really strong. NVIDIA, definitely one of the leaders here. And it's worth noting we actually have a catalyst on this. We know that Jensen Huang actually is in the Middle East right now, speaking at the Saudi U.S. Investment Forum, which is where Trump is right now, and he announced a deal to supply chips to Humane, which is Saudi Arabia's new AI firm. This is UNH. This one continues to break day's lows. United Health is on watch after its CEO, Andrew Whitty, announced that he's leaving the company for personal reasons. He'll be replaced by former CEO for about 11 years, Stephen J. Hemsley. So keep an eye on that. Last but not least, Coinbase at day's highs. Great look for COIN back above that 240 level and up well over 10% of the day. Coinbase being added to the S&P 500. The other catalyst we had on watch all day were cooler than expected CPI numbers. So nice look here. Lots to look at, that is for sure, on this very busy trading session. Back to you.
Yeah, lots to look at for sure. I can tell you, UNH did not make the
Bye-bye,
SSR
Tesla.
bounce. Apple's now through the 210, but I don't want this getting back under break even, so I'm moving my stop to break even.
What?
You want it to go right away. Rigetti's back at that 1060 level.
Holy shit.
So it held VWAP. It's trying to break this 1060. I think you break 1060, we get $11 on this bad boy. So now it's starting to get going. Finally, Apple going, this is going. NVIDIA's actually pulling back a little bit here, but my goodness.
My goodness.
This is insane action on the NASDAQ. We'll take it. It was a good day yesterday, and it's looking just as good today.
$6 right now. Oh my, as we continue to go higher and higher here on Tesla. Boy, oh boy, like I don't know if we've written down a better sticky note. 318 we wrote down there for Tesla. We've got it. It's $5.50. It is still Rip City right there. What's up, Trey Only? What's up to everybody? Hey, get ready because we're going to do a quick one right now. We're going to do roll call. Let's see who's here with us right now because this is the kind of day that we're having, man, across the board. I want to thank all 11,000, first of all, before we see who's here exactly. All 11,000 of you for joining us. Hit that like, hit that subscribe. I mean, do you have Amazon? Do you have Apple? Do you have RGTI? Do you have Uber? What do you have on right now? It doesn't really matter to me. I just want to say hi to everybody. This is a roll call right now. We're in a mood today, man. We're in a mood every day, and it's always a good one. So let's go. What's up, Hugh Jassel? Right there, Terrence is here. What's up, Ryan? What's up, Juan Padilla? What's up to Jeremy? Bart Simpson is here as well. Wow, everyone waving. Hey, everybody. How's it going? Right there. What's up, Martinez? What's up, Britt Brendan? Oh, boy, everyone getting in the chat. Hey, to get in the chat, you got to subscribe. It's working. It's working. What's up to everybody? I can't even read this anymore. Carlos, Olivia, Dean Floyd, Robert Woods. What's up, Robert Woods? Hope you get back in the NFL. RoboCop, Bears versus Bulls. Everybody in the chat, we want to thank you for once again joining the best damn community that is out there and the best group of traders right there. We'll find out what happened with your Apple. We've got Rigetti on board right now. We had Uber, Amazon $2, Tesla $6. It's just an $8 day for your boy right now. But let's go over to the desk and say hi to Adara. Hi, everybody.
Hello to all. This is the NASDAQ. Just keep an eye on the markets. China Finance Ministry canceling additional tariffs imposed on U.S. products under 2 later rounds of measures. So it just sounds like some updates here. What they said is they're going to pause the 24% tariff rate on U.S. goods for 90 days, and they're going to cancel those additional measures. So just an update here from China with regards to U.S. tariffs. Nothing super crazy here. We knew they were going to do this pause, but either way, worth noting, tariff talk is happening. The market does seem to like it. Again, Trump's supposed to be talking here at this event, the stream. I can't find anything up here, but I will keep looking. As I mentioned earlier, Trump did announce this $600 billion investment into the U.S. from Saudi Arabia. Back to you.
Yeah, the investments, the gifts, they're coming on through. Apple's a win, but it's still relatively weak. It's trying to break through the volume-weighted average price. Didn't like the price action I saw at the 210 level. Someone was holding it down. Now they're trying to get back, but I'm not going to fight the weak stock if it doesn't show me what I want when the market got to the high. Rigetti, on the other hand, did get to that same double top here at 1060. Looking for it to chew through. I'm already offering 11, and that's just a pure gap fill idea. Like right into prior resistance, zooming out a little bit further, right into prior resistance. That's what I want to see happen in Rigetti. Uber just went to $90.
Ooh-yah.
Yeah, like that one, not still. $90 now on Uber. This is another stock that hasn't really done any kind of a pull. Like it did a nasty topping tail candle, but then no rejection to come back in. And NVIDIA, for the first time today, put in a red candle. That's it, and it's looking for a curl. And I said, if it did a curl, I was going to play an AMD short. There's a double top on advanced micro devices right here. AMD never broke yesterday's high. So I want to play the fade at least back into VWAP, maybe even a little bit further off of this high at 110.50. If you couldn't break out the high today, I'm a little bit skeptical about you, especially with all the strength that I'm seeing in those chips. So nice topping tail candle. I don't want to hold anything past like a prior bar high. So we're going to jump into the short on AMD. We'll see what happens, but it doesn't have NVIDIA's strength to it, at least yet. If it does break out yesterday's high, that's a different story. I don't mind joining that kind of a move.
Right. Yeah, whatever else you guys want to talk about, man. Like I just went off there on the chat, so thank you so much to everybody. Let me double check how many likes we have now. 1.5K. Thank you so much, 11. Like, honestly, I don't even, like, what's happening with Tesla right now? Obviously, we wish we had held absolutely everything. But we're going to be at 2 times daily goal now. It is starting to go upside. We're 2 for 2, man. We just have 2 big trades on. We're now $10 in the money. We've got Tesla now $750. The dream is real right now. There goes Tesla. We loved that trade. And we had already talked about, you know, where we had that Tesla right there, 318, written down long. Go find me at Trader TV, Sean. 52,000 of you already have. 326. right now. And you can look back, like we were doing a lot of these trades quite often here. Look at IBIT right now. Yeah, looking at different things, right? I'm obviously focused on a little bit more share size, trying to catch not bigger winners, but trying to look for these kind of plays. I got to do a better job, I know that, of trying to hold on for these plays. Like to have $7 in the money on your full boat, like there's no way I'm never going to do that. But you know, the fact that we still have a little bit left on, I'm pretty happy with that. Look at IBIT. We talked about some names that may be going the other way. Wow, look at the NASDAQ. Just absolutely huge move up right now on the NASDAQ, and IBIT kind of going sideways right now. So maybe Bitcoin does have something left on it as well. I've liked that Apple dip. I mean, I think with China news as well, that could be a really good trade coming through right now. I see you got a new position, so why don't we just talk about AMD because...
Already did.
Okay, go
Already did,
again,
no
then.
questions asked, but I just... Prior bar high. I like to keep it as boring as possible. If I have a stop, if I have an entry, it's break of trend. I'll draw a trend line for you, but it doesn't matter. It broke the trend. I'll get out if it breaks that high of the day. So we'll take an L on AMD as long as it gets above. I don't put it at the even dollar. I'll usually be at like 63, 64, 65, something along those lines. But it looks like it's trying to join the party. I'm not bullish on this as a break until you're above 111 on AMD. It's a little bit also of a trend. It's been failing above the 50-period moving average, not breaking out second level. So it would be a bit of a trend break for it to make a new high off the 200-period or the 50-period moving average break on the daily and then break it out. That's what's not been happening on AMD pretty much every single time it's been through. So until it happens, great. Apple's looking a little bit better at this point, but it's NVIDIA. NVIDIA's the one that'll be the disappointment because it was never a setup that I liked. Like yesterday, NVIDIA was pretty clean on the long as Apple was, but not getting what I want to see out of it. There goes AMD through the high. I'm not thinking it's a breakout till 111, so I'm willing to revert that as well. And Rigetti's stalling out here at 1070. So I still like the trend on Rigetti. I'm not sold that I want to wait till VWAP. It can be a pullback into the prior high as well at about 1050. But I want to keep the trend going on Rigetti till $11. I think we hold this one to $11 and look for a re-entry on some kind of a higher low, which at this point is either going to be 1050 or the volume weighted average price, which has been good. But we had to get out of Rigetti. It broke VWAP and we just jumped right back in. If you get wicked out, I never hesitate to jump right back in if the setup is still looking good. And this is a squeeze play, 22% short float.
All right, are you though, as my guy Brendo goes in the back there. Okay, so right now, here goes Google. Let's see if we can get a move down. We are looking for something a little weak. We did make that move higher there on Google, so we'll see if we can go 3 for 3 here, but that's not what we count. We just look for exactly the same thing, man. We just look for setups. It's just the setups are working right now. So we're starting to get a little bit of a pullback in the market. You know, we did take advantage of that play. I told you we have less than 5% left right now on this name. So very, very happy, obviously, with what we've been seeing here today in this market. It's been a good one, needless to say, as we go downside, upside in Tesla. We'll see what this market wants to do, though, whether or not we go up or down from here, still to be seen. So there comes Tesla, a little bit of a pullback. There's Google, man, and oh boy, can we do it again right now? Let's put a little bit of a bid, get out of 5% right there, get out of another 5% at 71, but we just put this trade on, and it is working so far so good as well here on Google. So nice little drip down. We're just going to wait for 158.20. If we wind up taking that, then we're going to get out. We see, like, this might not be that weak stock that we think it is. So 158.26 or so. We'll just stop out if it does get there. We'll average into that high, which is about 10s or so. So let me just get a little. We don't want to get too many shares. We don't want to get too caught offside here on this play. So we'll see if we get something up there around 157.10. We'll take what we just got out. We'll take a little bit more now underneath 158. But if this market's going to do this, the last thing we really want to do is chase and then chase against the trend. So it's like this has already made this move up. Sure, we'll look to get that short because we know Google's weak, and I don't really like the stock, and we've talked about that. But it doesn't mean that this is going to actually work in the way that I want it to. So we'll wait to see what's going on, man, right now. Yeah, good trading all around over here. And as you guys can see, man, we take different positions, so you can watch both of us. Ask us whatever you want, questions about our trades, anything like that. Here we go on Google. I'm giving you my out, 158.25 for an out right there. So that will be roughly, as now we have our full position, 99s. So it'll be a 30-cent hit or so if this gets taken out. We're short at 99 right now on Google, as you can see on the board. Good average price. Let's just see if it wants to work. I don't know. We're trying. I don't really like going against the trend here in the market, but I don't favor Google right now. So we'll try it. I do understand it's a risk, and it looks like it's trying to get back upside. So, yeah, fighting trend here, going to hurt a little bit early, give a little bit of this day back. There it goes, man. We tried to find a short. Let's wait to see. It's not stopped out yet, but we're 10 cents away from it being that. And there it goes. Like sometimes when these stocks go, as you know, they'll go. So watch out here. We're getting in and out of Google, man. 20 cents worth of a hit. We can stomach that one, but Google right now trying to get upside, and there it goes. If it breaks it, I'm not going to reverse into the long, but it is worth noting that here goes Google pretty strong up to 158.25. So there we go, man. We'll slap a fail right there on Google. I mean, we lost on that one, as I thought the short might have been there. It doesn't look like it. Trying to go higher on Google right there. Just a quick look. I mean, now that we got stopped out, I'm thinking about, maybe another short. But look at Palantir, not doing a heck of a lot right there. Maybe we can find some more value in PLTR. All right, one more try here on Google at 23s, up to 158. Let's give it to 36s. This could continue to break. Sometimes we're stubborn about this, but with 10 cents worth of risk, I think we're okay. So let's see if Google wants to pull back just a little bit. We stepped in front of this freight train, and right now it looks like it wants to keep on going. All aboard the Google train right now. Nice little upside move.
Really? I don't
yeah, the market's ripping.
It's not just Google. I just trailed out. We talk about trend. I just trailed out of Rigetti when it turned at 1075. And broke the trend line, so I'm waiting for VWAP to get back in again. We had the 1 wick out, and we jumped right back in. But what I didn't jump back into fast enough was AMD. AMD gave the wick out and then fell right into VWAP. So that's the retracement. I mean, obviously, look, it is what it is. I wasn't fast enough. I was fast enough to get back into Rigetti because Rigetti hung out there for me to be able to get the same price back in. But there was a hefty pullback on AMD. But it's going to bounce off volume weighted average price right now. And I'm not chasing, the last thing I want to do is chase a short. Like in this market, you want to chase a short? Yeah, that's a no-go. So it would have to set up again. We're blowing out the highs. It would have to set up again for another mean reversion, like trend back up or, do something a little bit more clean here on AMD. NVIDIA still in 129 on NVIDIA. It is flat out. It's just it's program buying on a group of stocks right now. And even Apple is finally getting a part of the story as it wants to break out yesterday's resistance levels as well. So this has a bit of a gap fill to go. It's about 211.70 that it has to chew through. And then you get a nice little breakout on Apple. The other way to play it is now VWAP can turn into the support level for me. So I want to dip buy on Rigetti again. If we get the volume weighted average price, great. If we get 1060, great. I think that has a chance to continue. You're still getting absolutely nothing in terms of a reasonable dip buy on NVIDIA. So I'm going to stay with the patience play there. I want to get this one, Rigetti, back in here at some point. The trend is very, very clean. As long as it holds either trend line or VWAP, we're buying the dips. Again, Hamada, interesting one. I haven't looked at this. You can short puts. I shorted Moderna put strike 26 next week. I haven't looked at them. Remember, all the pharma was bad and weak yesterday, but then made that huge rally. So I wanted to stay away and have them settle down for another day before even looking at any of those pharma names. Let's go to Adara.
Just an eye on NVIDIA. I do want to mention, in case anyone missed the story, I mentioned it earlier, but we do have, let me read this. So NVIDIA announcing this partnership with Humane, that's a new Saudi AI firm. It's a strategic partnership to build AI factories. And they're saying to power the future of Saudi Arabia. We also have Google, Oracle, Salesforce, and AMD committing an $80 billion investment in Saudi Arabia. So not only is Saudi Arabia investing in America, we also have American firms investing in Saudi Arabia. So this is a two-way street, guys. Back to you.
All right, we still have, thanks, Adara. We still have Tesla still pumping higher, man. I mean, it did have a little bit of a pullback. Tesla now $7 in the money. Amazon right back to day's high as well. Thank you, Obi, for your nice, kind words back there. Congratulations on your trade as well, man. So, yeah, we really have a great environment and great community here. So, shout out to Obi there. Real sees real, my guy. There goes Amazon, man. 214.15, now trying to rip a little bit higher goes Amazon. So I decided just to chill a little bit here with Google and not like layer into this, but I'm gonna try to short this into, and again, all I'm really doing is proving what I already know to be true, is that I shouldn't really fight trends. And we talked about how we switched up our game plan to not do this. I mean, whatever, man, we're $7, $8, $9 in the money right now, but I'm gonna wait to see about this day high break right now on Google. I wanted to get a little bit more in as we got closer to this level. So let's try it right here. I don't know, I was waiting at 15s. Is that not gonna hit for us? All right, well, we'll take some 10s maybe. Don't tell me we miss all that. No, we'll get some 10s right now. There it is. So maybe we'll get 15s as well. But I'm gonna give this to that high of 159.30s. It looks like we will get sort of beat up a little bit here on Google trying to chase this. And again, it just hasn't worked, man. We're trying to get some shorts in here in a stock that I thought was going to be weak. Google was weak early, but the NASDAQ is not weak at all. The NASDAQ just keeps on pumping higher and higher and higher. So, hey, if the market does fall down, I'm pretty sure Google would cooperate, but I mean, I could say that about any stock, right? I mean,
well, there's certain ones that are not as strong as others. Apple's at the high, hasn't broken. AMD can't break the high right now. So if the market is turning, you want to, in my estimation, only ever things that have not broken out. So AMD didn't break 111, Apple didn't break 211.70 here. So I'm looking for a mean revert on Apple. We took a mean revert long and took it off too early when it was weak, but I'm not afraid to jump right back in and go in the other direction if it sets up. So we close, it's about to close, breaking trend from this higher low, and the one that actually got me out of the trade. And we'll jump into that bad boy. AMD, I just missed that short, you know. Mistimed the short on AMD. It wicks the high, and now it's pulling right back in. But I'm not chasing, yeah, I'm not chasing that one. We're going to get into Apple here. That one's setting up currently for us. Market's flying, but it's weird. It's not everything that's going at this moment. So you got pockets of strength and pockets of weakness. And this is one that, while being up, is relatively weak, at least for now.
All right, we are probably going to go, I'm not going to say it. I don't want to say I'm going to go green on Google because I don't know. But there it is. It's a nice fall back in. We finally caught something there. I'm going to get another bid here. We just got a 95 fill on that one. It's not like it's, you know, absolutely tanking or anything, but we just get a pull. There's a 95. Okay, we'll take it. I am sitting a little bit bigger here in the 80s to get another piece out. Want to take advantage of this move to the downside because we've been wrong on Google, right? So we want to take a little bit off there. See, now it's right back to flat again. So our best fill was 94s there. We just saw me take it. So let's now wait to see what does happen here with Google. You know, despite this market being huge up, you know, there's been some, you know, definite missteps going short there on Google. Watching out to see what's going on with Tesla. I'm going to put another bid here at 324.50 or so, just to get out of that. So we'll go to Tesla, 324.50. There goes Google right back up again. So 324.40s right there. We'll put a bid on that. See, it's getting a little bit excited. Maybe we can get back up to that level. And some good outs really just on Google down there. We still have 2/3 of this trade though, not out of enough. Wow, this is a parabolic move really on Google. Straight V upside $3. Right there. So, wow. We're $250 in the money on Amazon, which seems a little bit light now because of this move that I've just witnessed on Google. Google absolutely mooning right now to that upside. So, wow. All right. Maybe looking at NVIDIA, like everything seems to want to.
NVIDIA just turned at one.
Oh, it turned. Okay. I was going to say, because it seems like you know, everything's turned on right now for long. So,
I think
risk
this program,
on.
just before we go to Adara quickly.
She's not.
Whatever
there.
I thought.
Oh, there she is. Oh, okay.
Whatever the program was on NVIDIA, it's a little different from what we saw earlier. Like it went from steady eddy to the upside to stop and parabolic and stop and parabolic, and now you had possibly 2 red candles in a row. So if you're in NVIDIA, the tape is different. I'm not saying it's not still going up. It just looks a little bit different. So the trend break on Apple, again, it goes right from here, and then right when it gets to the even dollar, bidders just stepped right back in. So the curl was about 2150, although I got 33s. I want this to break VWAP and get back to the 210 area. So that place where we were going sideways before, I want a VWAP break and then get more out. This market has been crazy enough that any name that didn't break out, I want to give some more room to work into the short side. Still no dip buy over on Rigetti. But let's go to Adara, see what other small cappers have been going in the small cap recap.
As of today, we're back to that old pattern or old habit where IWM moves a little bit differently than the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ. We know for a while there, they were trading pretty similarly to one another, but IWM right now up on the day, though it is certainly not near day's highs. In contrast, S&P 500 and NASDAQ both pretty strong here near day's highs. We have Microvast Holdings as our first small cap. This has rallied in the past. It does have about an 8% short float, so decent short float to be aware of here for MVST. They reported earnings last night and maintained their sales guidance, midpoint of which is a little bit above estimates here, in line with estimates. Here's ICCT. No news for iCore Connect. Another repeat runner here, and this one does have a short float of around 26%, so more than a quarter of its float is sold short. Last but not least, INVZ. This one is a catalyst at about a 10% short float, announcing that they're accelerating the delivery of their LiDAR platform to Volkswagen Autonomous Mobility. So keep an eye here on INVZ, ICCT, and MVST. Tons of small caps. Make sure to like, subscribe, and join us every single day. We're loving all this market action. Back to you.
Thank you, Adara. We talked about IBIT. IBIT not doing too much, really.
No.
It just did get a good bounce there off 58.50 right now.
Everyone wants SMCI. So look,
SMCI, okay.
We're never attempting to ignore stocks. I'll chalk it up. I actually didn't have this one on the list to look at today. There was so much moving. You're not going to catch it all. But SMCI, 11%. So the program buying that was on NVIDIA, maybe it switched over to SMCI just now. Whoops, that's not split adjusted.
For NVIDIA.
There you go.
Hi, everybody.
SMCI is now flat out at the big breakout stage at $38, everybody. So this is what everyone, I think, has been waiting for. The shorts certainly haven't been waiting for this level because, yeah, let's just say they're going to want to wear the brown pants if this gets through the 38, if you guys know what I mean. I absolutely love Deadpool. But I also want to let you know something, guys. Every trader knows that if you want to grow, you have to risk more. At least that's how it used to be. Trade the Pool is changing that. You pay a one-time evaluation fee starting at $47. That's your total risk. You get a real shot trading with up to $200,000 in company capital. You don't need a large deposit. You don't need years of experience. It's a limited risk trading platform built for any trader who wants to grow without putting everything on the line. Just a small skin in the game, and you're trading with real capital. Scan Trade the Pool's QR code to get 10% off and start your journey. Shout out to Trade the Pool. Maybe you trade some SMCI. Looks like the tape is still going crazy, but it's running into 37.5, and there's a few sellers that are taking it down. They still are a lot of buyers being met, but you're seeing a few sellers start to take this one into the downside. And Apple's starting to catch a bit of a bid here off VWAP. I'm not reloading this. The market isn't way too strong. If it double taps, maybe it's even a breakout. And then the only other thing currently, which is very much on my attention, is that we're getting a dip in Rigetti here. I want it to hold the trend, pull back into the volume weighted average price. Still room to get to $11, but this dip, I'd like to give me 1050s if we can grab that another time here.
All right, yeah, good look over there. No, I just so I changed my price to 324 on Tesla. So if we can get a piece out there, we have less than 5% left. So we're gonna watch out for that. I do have a new position again. The shorts, just first of all, wow on Google. Like this is the most parabolic name rate. The NASDAQ is kind of doing nothing. This thing is up $4 right now from the bottom up into a huge level of $160.
The second you said that, look at the candle. Apple.
Yeah, I'm short Apple right now. So I just
got out break even on Apple.
Yeah, no, I'm short here. I'm short at 20s. I was trying to give this to the day's high. Like some of these names are just really going. Like I guess we're waiting for, I don't know. Saudi looks like it's going to be good money coming through there. Looks like the China deal is really helping spark this market as well, as we just get right back to the upside all over the place right now. I was trying to short against 211 really and against this high. So I'm fine with the price that we have here, but definitely not fine with shorting. The shorts have not been, Google's turning around a little bit off this level, but some of these names, to catch them at these highs is one thing, but I don't, we're going a little parabolic here on some of these plays. So I don't know if it's just algos right now running this higher, if they're just trying to get like short. I mean, I'm just short now.
I
but
think it is algos.
Like, I don't know if they're just trying to push people out of this market, like it's sort of like a bull trap right now, but the NASDAQ is rocking, the ES is rocking, and Apple's rocking, man. I mean, this is rocking high side right now. So yeah, congratulations everybody, like our Apple heads out there. This is starting to go, and I'm gonna take an L right now on Apple if it breaks through that day's high of 211.75. So we're short here at 26. Looks like it'll be a 50-cent hit. Now it's a 25-cent hit. If you don't like it, you could get back out on this pullback in. But yeah, it is not working favorably for your boy right now on Apple, nor did the Google short. But the Google just pulled off of 160. So maybe that was sort of a level to look at right there. But it's Apple right now that's on my mind. 211.30s is my position. Maybe we'll get something out if it comes back in a little bit, but we'll see what winds up happening right now. Hopefully a pullback down in Microsoft cutting 3%.
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah, of the workforce there. But that might be a good thing.
I think that is.
Like, does that maybe signal that there's a problem over there, or they're getting more efficient?
I was going to say it's a little bit of both. I mean, to me, like it's a good thing if you're cutting costs to the bottom line, but then if you're cutting after we've got the positive tariff announcement, then maybe you think there's still going to be some bad to happen.
Right.
I think you can play that both ways, but Microsoft, that's something I want to trade. Look, Apple got me out when it got through the high, but it hasn't really broken the actual pre-market top. But I look over and NVIDIA, double top on NVIDIA, lower high on AMD, and I said when that's the case, then I want to be into AMD. So I'm going to try the short in AMD. I mistimed it before, but this is what I'm getting at here. Double top on NVIDIA, AMD putting in a lower high. So I'm going to play off this 11060 area and see if we can't get short back in the 30s again, give it to that 60 wick high. And if NVIDIA breaks out, probably loses. But if NVIDIA even so much as coughs, I think we can get a pullback on that bad boy. And just because it's going insane, like if SMCI gets to $40, I've paid for locates on that. I have no intention of shorting it unless there's an obvious trend break or an obvious wick high, but something is a little bit fishy here in SMCI. I mean, come on. Like, I know it's up a lot and it's a big level, but we looked at it the daily. If it wicks 38 or something nonsense like that, I'm going to take a shot. And locates were almost free here. So you might as well have them on the off chance that you want to trade it. Let's see what's going wrong with Bitcoin because it's not participating in this move. Adara?
Yeah.
Well,
So I want to clarify with Microsoft. CNBC reporting that the company is laying off 3% of its workers across all of its levels and geographies. Microsoft confirmed this. So Microsoft is in fact laying off. I just want to clarify because sometimes the sourcing of things is unclear. This is actually Microsoft confirming that they will be laying off 3% of their employees. Apparently, as of fairly recently, they had around almost 230,000 employees. So very large worker base here when we think about that 3% number. Here's Bitcoin. Neil was mentioning what's going on with Bitcoin. Technically, at least, there is a pretty significant double top on the 3-minute for Bitcoin, around just shy of that 104,000 area. From there, we have made lower highs and lower lows. So Bitcoin looks like a little bit of a push to the downside on that 3-minute chart. And if you look at the daily chart for BTC, clearly there's still some support above 100,000. This is the second day in a row we've bounced off that level. Let's see if we can continue off of this bull flag breakout we had last week, because really, since we made that low around 75,000, Bitcoin has continued to try to push higher. Let's take a look at some of these other non-Bitcoin related names, if we may. We have Ethereum down about 1%, but holding on to that 2,500 level. This one has certainly climbed from its lows. We have BNB down about 2%, Solana down about 1%, Cardano and Doge both down almost 3%. So some weakness here in non-Bitcoin names. Bitcoin holding up relatively well as a result. And actually, right now, it looks like Ethereum slightly positive. Back to you.
Yeah, so we were talking about maybe some money like rotating just into some NASDAQ names, and they'll think about Bitcoin a little bit later. But we just thought about getting some more out of Apple. Apple came back in. We actually made a little bit of money on that. Our best out is 24s. We're now short 37s. Remember, we were short 31s initially. It just goes first in, first out. So as we keep massaging this, the prices are going to get a little bit better because my last in was 211.50, but it's not really a winner at all, Apple. It's whatever, it's 10 cents away from our average price right now. Hopefully we do get a pullback. I'm now waiting for low 20s, low teens, low O's. but that may not come in. Like, we just had an opportunity to dip down there on the market. We did get that pullback in Google. We didn't do anything about it. If anything, we probably should have bought that dip right into there, but we were just sort of still a little bit weary of that Apple trade, so I didn't really want to buy anything in case the market did come back down. But now Apple's saying, well, you should have bought everything because this move is now getting to the high side. Apple about to take out highs. So I'm kind of okay. We got out of 30% only of this trade, but it looks like the only losers that we'll have on board today are shorts. And it's like, because it does go against everything that I've been trying to do, and that is to not fight some kind of a trend. And right now, today, it's been upside. But, you know, as the day gets there, did we just get out there? No, we did not. As the day gets a little long, it did not break. So as the day gets not long, but, you know, longer right now.
Longer in the tooth.
Yeah, longer in the tooth a little bit right now. You could see that some of these plays start to change, right? And so there goes Apple right now, breaking out a little bit. I'm going to cancel. I'm going to go.
Is it though? Or the show's just starting now?
Yeah, okay, get ready to start with us immediately. No, but Apple's near that breakout zone. Right there it goes, breaking through to 1175. So we'll get stopped out on that last little piece of Apple. We'll be fine with it because the market is just ripping right now. We still did not get our out, though, on Tesla. That might be the one that's having a little bit of a problem. I mean, how many things are we going to stand in front of here? I just losing patience waiting for dip buys.
Another topping tail on NVIDIA.
Okay.
Like, well, NVIDIA's... It's so strong, but another failed break of the high. That is what I'm watching the closest here. And then AMD, which, you know, I bungled the short. And it's not that, look, I don't think there was anything wrong with that short, but you got to jump right back in when you're trying that whole, like, short the top of a relatively weak name. When it wicks you out, you got to be able to get back in because that was the VWAP press. And all of a sudden now, in this strong of a market, I can never anticipate the second one to be as good as the first because it's upward trending. That's your initial one where you want to be short here 111 or 110. I keep saying 11. 110.55 or so, and then getting out as it powers into VWAP. At this point, if it bounces off the volume weighted average price, we'll just look to try to get back what we lost and move on to the next, which might be knees weak, arms heavy, mom spaghetti, all that kind of good stuff. Rigetti's back at VWAP. So Rigetti closes above the volume weighted average price. Now remember, this is pulling back while the market is strong. So I want to be careful here that it doesn't consolidate and lose VWAP for good because Rigetti had a very disappointing revenue number. QBTS blew it out, and that's why they went to the upside. Rigetti had a surprise profit, but when you're trading at 100, whatever ridiculous multiple time sales, people care about revenue growth. So it wasn't a great report from Rigetti. I just want to play it as long as it's above the volume weighted average price. So I need this to close above that. For now, we're just into that AMD short. SMCI is also slowing down. The tape is different on SMCI up here. I just mean, I looked over and the time in sales, like you're not getting an end, like you're basically not having your brain blow up when you look at the tape on SMCI like you were in the rest of this move. It could be signaling that that's a bit of a turn, but that's anecdotal. I'm just saying it looks different from when it was going up. Stock is insane.
Okay. Yeah, we're going to get ready to go here. All right, let's look for something else right now. We are getting close, so we're $1 away from getting out of this Tesla trade. We're back into a small little Apple short here. A firm running, nah, not really. Let's check in on Coinbase again right here as we go. So Coinbase, yeah, man, up 16%. Wow. Looks like it wants to keep going. 250 right there in play now for Coin. Could be a good level there for a break. That's 242. We're not there yet. No, it's just 242. But Coinbase, again, taking out that 200 period today on the gap higher. And wow, on that inclusion. It's NASDAQ or S&P? It's S&P, right?
It's S&P.
Yeah, nice little inclusion number there.
You know, I'm having an idea. I think when it gets added, I sell Coinbase and buy Robinhood.
Okay.
That's what I'm thinking, because I don't know. I was having this conversation with Shred. I think I just like Robinhood better. But I don't know. It's maybe time to get out of Coinbase.
Maybe. I mean, it's a nice move up there for Coinbase. And how you can
yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say how you can double check all that is by scanning that QR code below and then make sure that you do check out all-time highs, check out your key levels, because eSignal is going to be your #1 spot there for trusted market data. So make sure you get over there, try it. It's a free 1 month with e-signature. You're not going to find that anywhere else. So if you do scan that QR code, it does connect to your broker, right? Over 50 plus brokers. So go grab that. You can entitle whatever markets you want. That's part of the best thing about e-signal. You want to look at overnight markets. You want to look at Blue Ocean. They have all that ability there. Go over, talk to them. Over 500 symbols at once. You can have on charting, depending on your computer power, of course, and then some of the scanners as well. So go check it out. We do want to say thank you to e-signal again for helping us organize that.
Well, you don't need a supercomputer, I'll tell you right now.
No.
You know, like we don't, like I'm not going to say we're sitting, I couldn't tell you the specs, but we're not sitting on supercomputers here, and we run our trading platform, and we have e-signal, and we have other things that we have going. So that's the other thing about it. It's not, like I worry about more what Chrome is doing to my memory than e-signal. Shout out to them, and scan the QR code below.
Yeah, Google.
NVIDIA again. NVIDIA, whatever was happening at underneath 130 or 129.5, the longs are working again, and SMCI, it was distinctly different for a hot minute, then it broke out that high. So my first thought was, okay, what does AMD look like right now? Well, it's catching a weak bid. For now, this still looks like it's the right place to go for the short, but it's got to do, like if the market keeps on going, at some point, you're just going to drag AMD with it, and the short underneath yesterday's high is going to be invalid at some point, but I don't think it's necessarily at that point just yet. Farm Trader, real question with you being bullish Bitcoin, why do Hood over Coin? Oh, because I'm quite, like my crypto is so heavily Bitcoin. Like if I look at everything I have in the crypto space, it's just so heavily Bitcoin that like I would want something that's a little bit more diversified. I think Hood just offers a little more diversification in the space, if that makes any sense, than Coinbase does. Hood's just doing more. I hope that makes sense, but that's the reason I kind of like it a bit better. Speaking of Bitcoin, like come on, man. It's doing nothing, but, and there's always a but in there, prior resistance has now double bottomed to support. So there's usually one trade I like for that. If Coinbase, whoops, I just said Coinbase when I meant Bitcoin. If Bitcoin can break this downward trend, I'll look for a long in IBIT. But it's still downward trending into a market which is an absolute beast. I don't think you want to fight that. It's some kind of rotation going on, right? Whether it makes intuitive sense or not, it doesn't matter. It's still happening.
Yeah, exactly. I think that you don't want to ignore sort of the trends there. We talked about Robinhood when it was a teens. Now it's $60 and ripping even higher right now there today. I was going to look at a firm earlier and it's not doing a whole heck of a lot today. So a firm, not, kind of doing opposite of what some of these other names are doing, down right now. Is my NASDAQ chart like frozen? Like, look what the NASDAQ is doing right now.
It's chilling.
So maybe this is not the greatest time to be in because doesn't it? I mean, it definitely feels like to me, I'm sure like to most of you guys out there as well, like maybe we're setting something up here. Like are we going to break this level right here of 21,250? Because then it could be really off to the races with many different names here. There was a little bit of an NVIDIA dip there, but not much, man, as this, wow, $130 right now for NVIDIA, as that is really starting to get going one more time. Wow. Huge upside in this market today. Our Tesla, let's just check out Rivian as we'll get back into another EV space because I did want to see, we did have that dip down when Randy was here, and that just fell into the 200 period, which we do like as a support area, 200 period moving average. So right there on the 1 minute. So that makes a little bit of sense. I'm going to take another piece out, just 5% out here of Apple, our best out to right there at 51. Let's just get out. I'm waiting for lower, man. So hopefully we can get a break here. I am bidding 40. Okay, here it comes. I'm bidding 41s. Maybe we'll get that. And then a drop down into 211 where we sort of started this short would be really nice to see if we can make some money back here. Give me those 41s. There they go. Making a little bit back now on the short for Apple. I'm going to put one at 31 and then we'll leave it alone right there. We're at 30s actually. We'll leave this alone, see if it wants to fall down because right now we've got an update at this. There it goes. We just got 30s. 40-cent winner there on Apple. Update on the screen with Adara.
We do. So there's actually, as you can imagine, a lot of strength in this market, but mostly in the NQ names. NVIDIA, nicely to the upside. Apparently, we are still waiting for Donald Trump to speak at this Saudi investment event. Had the stream open for almost an hour and no words have yet been said. But NVIDIA did announce at this event they're going to be doing this strategic partnership with a new Saudi AI firm called Humane. We have Google, Meta nicely to the upside. Netflix, after selling off yesterday, strong once again. Broadcom looking good, so a lot of tech strength. Amazon, the only green name here in retail trade, which kind of starts this trend of the NASDAQ definitely having some stronger names today than the S&P 500. Finance, a little bit of strength. Consumer services, producer manufacturing, consumer durables, some strength. But when you get to these sectors that are more dominated by non-NASDAQ names, you start to see a little bit more weakness. Health technology, we've got tons of weakness here in J&J. Eli Lilly also to the downside. Health services, UNH dropping to the downside and leading the group as CEO Andrew Whitty resigns to be replaced by former CEO Stephen J. Hemsley. We also have some weakness in communications, utilities, consumer non-durables. So not as many strong sectors as you might expect given today's rally. Back to you.
The only Helmsley is Hunter Hurst. Helmsley. The game.
In the game.
Everybody. The game. I'm telling you, man, he's one of my favorite villains of all time. He's just, some people know how to play a good villain.
The game.
That's absolute beast. All right. Well, the market did a topping tail candle. It said the tape looked a little bit different at 38 on SMCI, and if it did something crazy, well, I mean, it's already doing something crazy, but if it failed back underneath, it's a trend break. It's also back underneath the 38 level. So I'm going to take the first shot at it. AMD is still holding. Even NVIDIA just curled off the top as well. So you're getting a little bit of confluence here with you can't really tell, but there's a little top wick through 129.5. So you're getting a little bit of pullback, I think, in this market. You just want to take your, again, if you're in the long, if I was in a long, I'd be trailing out here. And it's hard not to look at this for a pullback. I don't know if you can get all the way back to the volume weighted average price. We've probably been too strong for that. So AMD, that's already not broken highs. Oh, by the way, Rigetti, so glad we didn't reload that. Whoops, that's some warrants. Rigetti has warrants, everybody. I just learned that now. That just lost the volume weighted average price, so no long at VWAP there. No strength came into it. It bounced, but that was too heavy of a bounce, and then it didn't consolidate above VWAP. Now you're looking like you're coming back in, and QBTS is bleeding as well, so another reason not to buy Rigetti at this moment. So SMCI, the only new position. I'm holding AMD through VWAP, trying to add to this on SMCI, but I don't know if we're going to be able to get it. Sorry, no Sharif. Sharif just making me chuckle.
Sharif loves AMD. Yeah, so we're just trying to let some of this bleeding stop a little bit. Like, look at you, Google. Look at you now. Oh, too bad, because we were short that name, and we should have just waited for the 160, be a little bit more patient there on Google. But there's the pullback, man. It double topped at triple maybe even at 160 there. So yeah, definite missed Oppo there. We are short Apple as the market's trying to come back in just a little bit. I have very little shares left on these two trades. So maybe just on Tesla, we can get a piece out here. I think some of that euphoria, I don't know if it's gone or anything right now, but that Chinese and Saudi Arabia news still in the market, but we're just going to wait to see where it goes from here right now. So let's get more out there on Tesla. And then I have less than 2% or about 2%. I don't even have an offer out for Amazon, so we've let that come all the way back in. We should have sat there again. So let's do that. 214. We'll put an offer out on Amazon right now. 213.95. If we get that, great. We'll see if that hits. But right now it's Apple is just in the 20s again, man. Okay, here it comes back downside again. So all right, let's see if Apple can come in. I'll put a bid. I'll put a bid at 26 to get a little bit more out. Just trying to make a little bit back because we were short right here and then wrong at the top. Re-shorted it like we should have done we tried it on Google, but it didn't work. So there goes Apple. A couple outs already in the 20s, but yeah, not really free falling here at all, as the market might have just found a bid. And that's where we should be bidding ourselves, man. We should be buying the 50-period moving average, but we didn't do it there. So, all right, punishment there for us on that. We are looking to get more short up here, but not until the highs, like 211.90 or so, something like that, I think would be a decent opportunity for me on Apple. But there it comes. Yes, sir, we get that as it just falls back into the 20s right there for Apple. So a nice move back downside there for AAPL. But Adara has something else for us.
We know, sorry, I do have some news for you guys. NVIDIA, as we know, did announce its strategic collaboration with Humane, which is that Saudi AI firm. It's a new firm. Now, Jensen Huang, as according to CNBC, has announced that the company is going to be sending 18,000 of its top AI chips to Saudi Arabia. So NVIDIA, one to watch. Still at day's highs. Great look for NVDA with tons of Saudi-related announcements this morning. Back to you.
I feel like you want to, like, if Sharif was on, he'd be playing that song right now. And I can't do an impression of the Busta Rhymes joint if you know what I'm talking about, but they got that money, if you know what I mean. Yeah, Sharif, you say it, brother. But the market, look, it's trying to pull back. It just put in the first red candle on the NASDAQ. I mean, since the pre-market, there had been a few of them, but let's be real. That is a hefty buy trend, which just went in there. So this pullback, whatever it might be, if you're short, you better win on it, because if this is all we get, then you don't want to have any regrets. SMCI is a new one. AMD never broke the high, so I like the fact that it never broke out the high. So I think I can continue into this. And if it's going to break the trend from the morning, this is something to even add to, because it's breaking the trend if we close underneath, which it has not done yet. SMCI over here, just double tap the 38 level. I'm thinking 37 or the volume weighted average price, or it's going to break out the top and go to 40, in which case I'll get stopped out. So I don't see an in-between on this. SMCI is not hanging out here, everybody. There's almost no chance. Like, this is a big level on the daily, a huge level on the daily, that either we break out, squeeze this into the 40 level, if not 42, or we pull right back in and get the volume weighted average price. So it's put up or shut up time for SMCI, for the market. And there's even some small caps which are going nuts. Oh, and by the way, I don't know if you've seen this, but I suspect that you have. Palantir. ATH. Now, I just want to point out that wick that you see on the chart, that's kind of a fugazi. It's this wick that you see here. So it would be an all-time high in like $1 or so. If no, less than that. I think maybe like 80 cents a
We have 125.40 written down.
Yeah, so it's half $1. Well, it was a second ago, it was like 60, 70 cents. Now it's like 50 cents away. So all-time high is incoming on Palantir. Just our, whatever dark pool wick that is. It was the aftermarket move to 130. That's what it was. It did go to 130 in the aftermarket, but on a closing basis or regular market trading, Palantir about to make an all-time high in a few seconds, minutes, I don't know.
Yeah, man. That's a name that we have not gotten anything out of, and maybe we should at some point there for PLTR. We did get filled. I don't even know what Eli Lilly's doing. We did get filled in our Eli Lilly bid. So let me have a quick look. It's probably down 10%. Yeah, no, it's fine. So these are some of the levels that we are looking at in and around 750. So that's where we got filled. So we are now long more shares of Eli Lilly in our account there. We told you we did sell Google the other day, which doesn't appear to be right, in and around that 156 level. But there it goes, man. Google right back into 158. So the short was right. We just needed to wait for it. It did pull back a little bit there. Weaker than the market, but still up. We did real good, I feel like, anyways, getting out of some Apple down there at 211.10 or so. So again, a pretty good out there for us. There's Tesla. Money. Yeah, man, that's $8 right there. Actually, we were 218, so that's $6 right there. We did have 7 right there up to the top. Shout out to Big Patty Ice as well, as I get that note there from Sharif. Thank you, Patrick. Again, I know you know what's going on over here, so shout out to you, Patrick, and thank you for the love and the support. So more outs. Oh. All right, so they just showed the Tesla robot to the prince there in Saudi Arabia. So this guy's now getting his coffee poured by some optimists right there. So nice rate move there to the upside on that one. What's going on? All right, money talks right now with Adara.
I want to clarify what Elon. So this was just according to Elon Musk himself. We don't have any video of him showing it to them. All we know is Elon said that we, quote unquote, just showed Tesla Optimus robots to President Trump and the prince here of Saudi Arabia. I just want to clarify: there's no footage. There's no evidence per se. All we have is Elon Musk's word that we showed these robots. Here is the US dollar. I've talked a little bit now about this uptrend from these recent lows around that 98 level, and it is continuing to occur. Right now, it looks like the next area we're kind of maybe gunning for would be that 103.4 area. We know we had cooler than expected CPI prints across the board. There was one exception. Core CPI year over year was exactly in line with estimates, but CPI year over year and month over month and core month over month CPI all slightly lower here, cooler by 0.1% compared to estimates. Now here is the Fed funds rate, and I want to look at this tool because right now, I think it's really staggering, not the amount of people that are expecting a rate hold in June, but how much it's changed in a relatively short period of time. 91.7% of participants are not expecting a cut or a raise when you get to that June meeting. However, if you go here back to 1 month ago on April 11th, 2025, we had 21.9% of participants only expecting this hold. So we have gone a lot more hawkish in terms of these Fed rate expectations recently than what we were seeing even a month ago. I think that's certainly worth noting. Also, we have some analysts, including those, a couple different analysts here this morning, saying that they're not really pricing in a cut until December now. So analysts expecting a little bit lower of a rate cut. I think the earliest expectation of a cut on the CME Fed Watch tool is going to be this 51.8% chance of a cut in September. But generally, it looks like these cuts are going to be fewer and farther away than we were hoping. Back to you.
Yeah, I think that's the sentiment that everyone has. We're going to get less cuts, but the market doesn't seem to care. We just broke out the high again. I got the break-even stop on SMCI. I'll be flat on it at this point, but like I'm telling you, this stock is going parabolic. It hasn't broken out the actual high, but once it closes under the trend line, you know, the prior bar when we reload it turns into the break-even bar, and it's still going. AMD's holding on, at least for now. I want to say it's holding on with the market about to test a fresh high. AMD, it fits the rule. It didn't break out. It did break out today's top, but it didn't break out yesterday's at 111. And then ever since we've been making fresh highs, it has one wick out and has been holding the line. I still believe a trend reversion trade is going to be better than shorting it on resistance in here, though. So I just tightened my stop to essentially like the break even because I don't want to. I'm not fighting this all the way into the high of the day. I was just saying the trend break looks like it's going to be better than trying to short off that high. So that last entry we risked a couple of cents on. Because as I see this, if we break trend, great. This is a stock that's been relatively lagging most of the morning, but it's still in a big time bull flag. As far as to me, this morning is going to come down to not holding on to Uber, never getting NVIDIA, and never getting NVIDIA. But I think if you're looking for shorts at this point, they better set up perfectly. So I see AMD as still looking solid, but only for either a test of 111 higher or a break of this trend line that we've got going on here. Every time I was short, it's like the first move good, but then you're getting higher lows the whole way through. Let me just save that this time so I actually don't have to draw it every single time through. You got to break the trend line. And I'll leave that one up all day. If it's an all-day trend, it's an all-day trend. And I like when all-day trends break. But if it never breaks, I've got to find my way back into a long. One of them was supposed to be Rigetti. Good out on Rigetti, but now it's underneath VWAP. Like, if you're weak on a day like today, it's not really giving me the feels to want to jump back into it. And then I threw up QBTS to see what its cohort was doing, and it's looking just as weak in QBTS. So maybe need to see some higher lows in here to jump back into one of those names that we had earlier. Rigetti's solid move, but overall not that great. UNH is at 317.
Yeah, UMH just keeps going. SMR now $21. We really like that.
21.
But don't tell Randy, because then we'll have to pay for lunch. But right here, let's go find out what is exactly for lunch here as we get our guy Joseph super excited about that today. So today is Tuesday, May the 13th, Joseph. And today, we talked about this a little bit yesterday. Nah, it's not Taco Tuesday. It would be nice if it was, though. Today, I don't know. This hasn't been a huge success here. Homemade bolognese today.
What's wrong with that?
I don't think it's been. I don't know. I just sometimes when I look at it, it's a little bit too too fatty, too greasy there. But it's okay. Nice. We'll be having a salad anyways. We'll see what's on the salad. But with penne, so I like penne, one of my favorite pastas there. And then mixing up the roasted Brussels sprouts, and then again with an appropriate salad, all hail Caesar today. So homemade bolognese, penne with a side Caesar. So congratulations to everybody eating here today. That should be a good one. And that is your favorite segment. It is What's for Lunch. Right there. Okay, so we did a little bit of a roll call today. We want to make sure that everybody does hit the like and the subscribe again. Over 1.7K right here today. We want to thank everybody for doing that. Over 9,100 of you watching right now, as I'm short the TQs and I'm short Apple, and hopefully not to my demise. But the thing about it is everything's right at the day's high. So if it does fall back in, we will take some of this profit. Just wanted to see what this market wants to do now. We have that great story from Elon showing the robotaxi or the Optimus, and now he's already thanked already Saudi Arabia right there for that. So great look there for Elon and company. And it's funny because we just had Mitch on talking about the robots. And then there we go again today. Looks like that's going to give us a nice little bump up there. And we'll see, right? I mean, they're not in production yet or anything, but it's nice to see that they're being supported somewhere. So shout out to Saudi Arabia.
Brendan's getting one right away.
Yeah. I'm getting one a couple weeks after Brendan does.
I want to see him, as long as it doesn't, take over Brendan's household.
Yeah, it will.
I will not be the first person to get any robot, man. I've read way too many Isaac Asimov novels to be the first one on that party. It ain't gonna be. I'm all over it eventually. Just not at first, man. You better be safe.
Right. Yeah.
I'm down with it cutting grass and.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm down with it. No, I like cutting grass. I want to get it to give some help around the house. So
whatever you don't like doing is what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's not. I just want to give my wife does all the laundry and everything. I want to give her a break.
Folding laundry.
Yeah, folding laundry, doing laundry. Well, I haven't folded laundry in 15 years, but okay. Here comes Apple's trying to pull down just a little bit right now. We are short the Nasdaq as well. So what just happened?
No, sorry, I was
tell me something good.
Bitcoin's breaking trend, but AMD. Hey, it's a good thing we got out of that short.
Oh,
AMD
upside.
just did that. So, remember, it was like, well, let's see what happens if it tests that high. You don't have to stay short. You can definitely go the other direction. But there's nothing here but maybe a technical breakout on AMD. Like, it just broke that 111. Oh, goodness. Pull back into prior high, I suppose, is going to be in play. I said unless it joins the party, I was going to look short, but it's clearly gone now. This is why, if you weren't already out on the break-even stop, that's why you got to be out. Next stop, if it holds 111, 115, and then from there, maybe a 20 PE, a 4 PE is good enough.
People yelling to us about that.
Although I guess it is the PE in general. I was just looking at a trend break in IBIT because it was breaking the trend. I have to wait. I'm not chasing that move in AMD. I'll wait for it to get to 111 on a pullback. But the all-day trend in Bitcoin, it bounced off 103 or the 58 half level, and now you have a chance to close breaking trend on IBIT, waiting all morning for it to not look as weak as it has. If it joins the party, I'd like to play this back into the high. So I want to get a scalp trade. It's about to close this 3-minute bar. Oddly enough, right at 11 o'clock, I suppose. It's going to close this bar right at 11 o'clock, but that's next. Or a dip on AMD into 111. I don't mind flipping it up, but there was no way to chase that. Like, that candle was like 50 cents in one shot on AMD. Nuts. Wow.
Yeah, like stories. This market is stories bound right now. Everywhere you look, man. So hold your trades close, man, and make sure you do have some stop orders in. And man, it's been 11 o'clock. A bunch of good stock and good talk here today. So we want to thank everybody for sticking with us. It's now 11 o'clock, man. Great job here, pounded out on the day. So we did a good job here today for you guys. I feel like, and I hope you enjoyed it as well. Short Apple, short the Qs. Let's see what winds up happening here as the market's at day's high. Short might not be right, but we're there.
It's doing what NVIDIA was doing before.
Yeah, okay, it's going off. So we'll have the midday guys. They're going to be looking all over AMD as well. So thank you, Bears vs. Bulls. Thank you, everybody. Thank you to Mitch earlier as well. Thanks to Dara. Thanks, everybody. The whole board, man. Andre, Chilean Nightmare over there. Thank
Hard
you so
work
much.
fixing the issues we had this morning to get you guys the show.
And thank you, everybody, for being patient with us on that one as well. All right, we're done out of here. We're back at 2. It's the big guys right now. We'll see you later. Midday show. Sound, guys.
Wireless mic.
I got those.
Oh, there's Donald.